Do you enjoy editing, or is that like a grueling?
Not photos. I don't mind. That's pretty second nature and quick.
Yeah.
Video is annoying.
Yeah.
I like it when it's finished.
Yeah.
It's so annoying to edit. Just the gap between what you want to do and actually doing it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
It's just with photos, it's like a split second. I know to do this, I'll just click this few buttons and it'll happen instantly.
Yeah.
Video, it's like this thing screws up. Got to render this.
Yeah.
And I'm not that great at video editing either. I don't really know anything.
What do you use?
Premiere.
Oh yeah.
But
yeah.
I know
Yeah,
nothing.
we use Premiere as
So
well.
I'll have in my head, I'll be like, this would be cool, and I'll be like, I have no idea how to do it. I have to ask someone.
Yeah,
just can't
Google
be bothered.
it.
Then I'm like, fine, I'll just do a simple cut instead. And it's just that, just non-stop. And then you send it off, and someone wants changes, and then got to go render it again.
Yeah.
It's quite annoying. I don't like waiting around too much. Yeah.
Yeah, we've got I don't know, really no idea what we're doing. But we're happy with the quality of our production, so
Yeah, nice.
it works. You just kind of figure out a formula.
Especially
and
the
then-
audio.
Yeah. I don't really understand what I'm doing with the audio. I just sort of
Yo, how's that sound?
sounds pretty good.
Sounds alright.
Yeah.
Sounds alright. Sounds alright.
Should I grab those other headphones or just?
Oh yeah, I'll grab those for you.
I'll probably just won't wear these ones if you want.
Oh, you go. All right.
As long as I know it's
okay.
working.
Sure. I love to get into it just sort of shuts me off from the outside world.
Yeah, I don't know. I prefer not wearing them in interview kind of things. I start thinking more about what my voice sounds like because it definitely sounds different to the cans, and you're like,
It does. You can hear the
sometimes it sounds better, but sometimes that, and like it just puts me off. I'd rather just not know about it because I can't change it.
Yeah. Oh.
Did you get all these posters from? Are these just your own? You just collected them over the years, or you got them specially for here?
We got them especially from the poster girls.
Oh, right.
Perth poster girls.
I used to
just,
collect band posters.
Oh yeah.
I used to be such a fanboy of just anything music. I used to buy them off eBay. Like, just from
Oh, wow.
like ones I didn't even just find. I was like, I want this one of this band. So I just
Yeah.
now they're just, I don't know, they're probably in the bin now. Who knows?
Oh damn. Yeah.
I might have a stash. It'd be super old school though. It'd be like 2006, 2007.
Hell yeah.
My favorite is the Ice Age live one and the Tom Jones one too.
It's got character.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're thinking about redecorating because it's kind of like, I don't know, we want to get maybe like fewer, like some more like frame posters and like fewer of them, and then sort of have more of the brickwork showing and that kind of thing. So, and the posters are like continually falling down, so it's like a battle.
Yeah, that's the thing.
So I'd rather
And
just
after
like,
a while, it looks pretty gross with the blue tack.
Yeah, blue tack
peeling
is-
off.
Yeah.
Blue tack isn't forever.
yeah. So, but it's good while it's
Yeah,
lasted.
that's good.
But it also, I don't know, it kind of makes that shot look like really there's a lot going on in the shot. Like you can see so much
true.
here. This one's not too bad. It's quite nice. But
there is a lot going on in this shop, but I kind of like it because it's like, wow, we created a wall
yeah.
out of. Well, I guess it's a wall anyway, but
It's still a wall before and after,
a different kind
but a
of
more
wall.
colourful
Yeah.
wall.
It's the
Put
wall,
some
it's the
effort
wall you
in.
want to build.
You've set decorated.
Is that a phrase?
Yeah, it can be.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So we'll see. I'm trying to get my hands on a Koi Child, like the album Koi Child.
Oh yeah.
From the band Koi Child. Like they've got this incredible. Oh, actually, have you got your phone on? Do you want to? This is like it's the most amazing image. I'm just in love with it and the band and everything that album represents. And they're a Fremantle outfit, so if I can get a
Isn't it
big
everybody?
high quality print of that and stick it behind me, that'd be awesome.
Just print it from your screenshot.
Yeah.
I don't really know how to use my phone, but it's like
There's
that.
so much, and the storyline
Yeah.
behind that as
I
well.
reckon I know the artist who's drawn that. It looks very much like a girl called Hannah.
Yeah, that's
Oh, you nailed it. Hannah Atchison, yeah.
I might have a print of her somewhere. I'll bring it down if I find it. I've got so much stuff just... I I go to art shows and they're
Yeah.
usually my mates, and I just get so excited about supporting them.
Oh yeah.
And so I buy their stuff.
Yeah.
I bring it home. Like, where am I going to put? I have nowhere to put this.
Yeah.
I don't have the effort. I can't nail things in the walls because I'm renting.
Oh.
So we've just got a pile of stuff.
Yeah,
It feels
man.
good.
Damn.
Are you a bit of a collector? Do you have that kind of mentality?
Yeah, I think so.
It's hard to let
just
go
kind
of
of
things.
not pointless, but I guess I'm collecting it not for actually having it and looking at it, just for the idea of cool, I've got a cool collection of
Yeah,
this.
yeah.
Just gives you something to do.
I get that. You kind of want to capture the beauty of it. You're like, if I don't own it, then it's kind of gone.
Yeah.
Maybe.
I just like having stuff, but it's not really a practical thing to just hoard things.
Yeah. Yeah, man. I saw your I'm not going to pronounce this, but the Aurora Ailouros or something. What was it?
Aurora Ailouros.
Ailouros.
You don't have to be able to pronounce it because it's a made up word.
Yeah. Okay, that's
Actually,
good.
no, it's not. It's not. I take that back. It is a like a Greek word, maybe.
Yeah.
Or something. Like we borrowed it from somewhere when we were dreaming up this concept because we wanted. I mean, it really is just funny. Let's just combine space and cats and everything. So
Yeah.
it was already there. But then we thought, if we make an exhibition out of it, let's beef it up a bit. Let's come up with a backstory, and we started looking into Egyptian mythology, all this
yeah.
stuff. So alluromancy was a word for how Egyptians used to try and use cats to predict the weather, and we just went down this rabbit hole of how they worship cats, and so a lot of it kind of came from there.
Yeah.
How do cats predict the weather?
Didn't get that far. I don't think it really detailed it. I have no idea
Because
how.
the Egyptians knew a lot that we don't know. So
Yeah, so maybe there was something in it.
yeah.
But there was a lot. There was a lot about cats in Egypt, so we kind of went with that. And we're like, okay.
Yeah. So that was the alien cat overlords from outer space.
Yeah, we pretty much abandoned using
amazing.
that actual title
Yeah.
straight away.
Yeah.
because it was just too silly. So we just started calling it like Space Cats.
Space
when we
Cats.
had to talk about it.
Yeah.
Cats.
Yeah.
That's so good.
C for short.
So that was a collaboration between you and Prez One.
Yeah,
is it?
yeah. He's a tattoo artist by trade, but he's an amazing painter and illustrator.
Yeah.
And I met him through like a group exhibition we once did at a place called Little Wing. Do you remember that? Little Wing Corner Gallery. It's actually where I met Hannah. It's in Subiaco.
Yeah. Okay.
And they did this thing where different artists would come in and they'd paint over a photographer's work.
yeah.
And he wasn't even actually part of that. He was in charge of designing a flyer for the show to promote the show
Right,
that he
right.
wasn't in, but he came up with that over my photo. And I'd never met him before. Like they'd kind of put us in touch, and it was just
Yeah.
the coolest thing I'd ever seen.
Yeah.
I was so excited, and that was 3 years ago. And so we've been talking about this
man.
exhibition since then, and just
Yeah,
trying to
really
get it off
stunning.
the ground, and just
Yeah.
finally we did it. So
And
very happy that's out there.
those like sweaters that the little like
I should've
knitted
worn it,
things. They were so good.
Yeah, like the good thing about
great.
Paulie, is so normally when I'm collaborating with somebody, I'll usually be the outlandish one and come up with crazy things, and then
Yeah.
the other person would be like, yeah, it's cool, but I mean, we don't have the money for that. That's stupid.
Yeah.
Like, there's usually at least some level of resistance, but with Paulie, you just agreed with everything, even when it was getting silly. I was like, all right, custom neon sign for like $500. Like,
Yeah.
all right, let's do it. But, how about check out this sweater website I just found? It's like $70 cost price, 100 minimum order.
Yeah.
I was like, so that's like $7,000 we have to pay for these sweaters. And he was like, yeah, let's do it.
Yeah.
Just facilitating each other.
Yeah.
Each other's
Yeah,
like,
no one was like, no, we shouldn't.
That's cool.
we
It's
just got
cool where it
caught up.
went like with that then with
I
that
think
mentality.
so. It is cool. We definitely have lost money on the sweaters. That part's, but it's funny. you know.
Yeah.
I don't mind. It's just like I have a huge box of sweaters, which is kind of
Oh,
funny.
dude.
I don't mind paying money for that.
hey, making money is for lizards anyway.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yes, let's get into lizards.
You're only really creatively fulfilling yourself if you're in the red because of that project.
Yeah, man.
Well,
I
I
just-
mean, definitely true for. I was talking about this the other day because when I was first starting out, I did so much stuff for fun, just because I was still learning and just wanted to do stuff. So I did like projects in Africa and just did these randomly silly stunts and just, I don't know, just did a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
And because there's nothing else to do and it's like nothing to lose, I was like, well, I'm still at uni. I'm just starting out with photography. Let's just go. Anyway, I did so much stuff. And then these days I was thinking about it. I don't do any of that stuff anymore. And I think it's because now I'm actually somewhat successful.
Professional.
Yeah. Well, like it's, do I want to go to Africa for 2 weeks and, take portraits of the Maasai tribes like I did before? I was like, I'd love to, but that's, 2 or 3 weeks out of my life. Who's going to pay me to do it? Why should I just go off and do that when I've got, big paying jobs, over here?
Yeah.
And just start just taking all of those things out of the equation. And then what you're left with is like, well, I haven't really done anything for myself for a while. Like this exhibition was a good way to kind of get back into it, knowing we're probably going to lose money from doing this, but let's just do it because we love it and it's funny and we're really proud of it. But it's pretty rare that I'll do that these days.
Do you think that hopefully there will come a time where you get to a point where you have the freedom to go back and do those things and without being constrained by like wanting to take bigger jobs and that kind of stuff? Like, is that where you want to keep doing that stuff?
I don't know. I don't know if that'll happen because like I'm totally fine and doing well with photography in commercial sense. And like that's going really well. And I could really just take a lot of time off if I wanted to. But there's just always that, man, it's going so well. People are asking, and it's not like it's boring stuff. People ask me to go on tour or travel somewhere.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, it's not like I'm saying no to crappy stuff. It's all cool stuff. So I'm like, well, I'm going to do it. If someone's asked me to do it, I'll go tour with you around the world. And then you just keep doing it, and then you look back. I've made a ton of music videos for other people, a ton of photos. They're cool photos, but they've all been for tourism destinations or whatever. Like, what have I actually done that I just wanted to do? And that's not that much these days. There's a blurry, it's a lot of stuff is super fun and super well paid. So it's like, it's cool. But in terms of just purely what I would do, if there was no one asking me to do it, haven't done that much lately.
What would be, did the Margaret River, the Edge, was it?
Yeah, the exhibition. Yeah.
Is that more in sort of the realm of what you'd like to do?
No, that's more the other thing.
Oh, okay, that's
because that was that's like a complete contrast to this cat exhibition. Yeah. So the Margaret River one was funded by Tourism Board. Yeah. Australia Southwest, so the Margaret River region, and so it was really like a marketing exercise. Which they wanted me to organise and be the face of. Yeah. And it was, it was a great opportunity, and I love, promoting Southwest. So I was like, let's do it. Yeah. But, I would never put on that show just, I wouldn't just do it for fun. Yeah. That was a job, and that was someone had asked me to do it, so I did it. So yeah.
So I imagine then maybe, what was it? Ultimatum? Mm-hmm. That's more
pretty good
in the line.
I'm realizing I'm choosing a lot of made up words for my exhibitions. Might need to rethink that marketing strategy.
I was saying to Lockie before, Rufus Du Sol, like Rufus the band. Yeah. Have you seen the album cover for Inner Bloom? It's kind of this, I don't know, it's like a dripping kind of acrylic sort of look.
I think so.
So many of the shots. So you were in Iceland shooting for that exhibition, shooting, what was it, like volcanic river systems? Yeah, from an airplane.
Yeah, just flying around in a plane, just shooting aerials of just everything down there. But the stunning stuff were the river systems, the braided rivers, so they kind of like bend around and kind of interlock and everything. And because of all the volcanic minerals, I couldn't go into more detail than that. Yeah. But because of what's in the earth there, the colors come out really crazy.
Yeah.
They don't look real.
I know it's like otherworldly. It's
Yeah.
like an alien
And
like
this was
landscape.
like a while back. This was before drones were really a thing. So back then, it was quiet. No one really understood no one had seen that kind of stuff before.
Yeah,
Not many. Whereas now, you just set a drone up in the air and you can kind of see the same kind of thing. So it doesn't have that impact now, I think. But back when I put it on, it was quite a cool thing to see, I think, for everyone.
I think it's quite impactful every time I see that.
Yeah.
Because it literally is otherworldly. It's from underground. Like into the Inferno. Have you seen that?
No.
About Werner Herzog documentary
No, I don't think so.
about volcanoes. He goes into all the mythology and stuff, and like some of the shots they have are incredible.
Yeah. There's nothing
Like close-ups of the like exploding lava or whatever the scientific term is, and it's so close that like it looks like crashing waves, but it's just pure heat, pure hot lava. It's just like wow.
even
Incredible.
the opening sequence is just mind blowing. It's like this camera, it must be on a drone, like pans, so it sort of like glides up a mountaintop, and then at the very top there's a few scientists and they just look so tiny, and then it goes over them and down into the volcano and zooms right into the molten core of this volcano, and
then Werner Herzog comes on,
his
with
voice
his
comes
dry commentary. Nature is
100%.
unforgiving. Death is inevitable.
That sounds cool.
It's super cool, man. I mean, everyone's got Netflix, so you've got Netflix.
Oh, it's on Netflix?
Yeah, go and check out
that one out.
Into the Inferno. I've watched it like 4 times. I grab people and sit them down and like make them watch it. And I'll be like in between watching the documentary and then looking at them to see their reaction, because I'm sort of like getting some kind of weird
Making
joy
sure they
out
have
of
the
that.
right reaction as well.
Yeah,
Didn't you see that?
it's amazing. I think at
I'd
one
be
point,
the worst though if I was there, because I don't react to most things. I would just sit. I'd be enjoying it, but you wouldn't be able to tell from a face.
Even like stand-up comedy or something, like you're watching that.
I reckon. I don't know, how you describe it, but I don't react. I don't react. It's like, and it's a real thing. I don't know what. Like I remember one time I went paragliding. It was a thing called parahawking.
Okay.
In Nepal, where you paraglide, but the guy that's with you is like a hawk trainer, and this hawk like flies around you while you're in the air, and then lands on his arm, and sometimes you can land on your arm as well, and then he just flies off.
Yeah,
That's so extra.
I remember jumping off, and it's just like so silent. It's just you and this random guy in tandem, and I was really aware at that moment that I should be saying things to indicate how much fun I'm having.
God,
Because I was happier, but I was like, I realized that, I've said nothing for like 5 minutes. He's probably wondering if I'm enjoying it. I was like, so I had to force myself to be like, oh, wow. Oh, cool. This is so cool. I was like, it just felt awkward to me, because like, I'm just perfectly happy just floating around and not saying anything.
You just throw out lines you say to Ubers, like, so been busy today, mate? Busy parahawking today?
Yeah, that was what it's like. We've just been in an Uber. Stuck in an Uber.
Got an
Very
horse
cool
club?
one.
Up here.
Oh man.
Have we actually done any sort of formal introduction?
We just got into it. We threw
even
away
do those
those
anymore?
Yeah,
Oh,
I think
okay.
it's.
Sure.
I don't know. It feels weird, just kind of like doing it nowadays. We probably should.
No, I don't mind it, because in a normal conversation you don't say, and now I'm talking to
Yeah.
so-and-so,
Yeah,
like
It
Jarrad
always
Seng,
feels weird.
Will Kinsey, yeah.
and then you like plug yourself, and it's like, I don't know. It feels kind of like narcissistic or something. Like if you did that in an everyday conversation, that'd be weird.
Well, it's weird. Like podcasts are weird because, I was talking about how I was recording my own thing a while ago. But it is weird how it's a private conversation, but for public listening. So it's this weird in between. And that's, I think, what I've struggled to kind of now that perfect balance when I've tried to record with people. They're all fine, but I'm like, I'm still trying to work out, like it's hard to keep that, sometimes hard to keep that intimacy of just a one-on-one conversation. When you know in the back of your head, you're like, what's, someone was going to listen to this and what are they going to think about that part? You know? And then it's like,
Because that is happening. People are listening to it and passing judgment or whatever.
Yeah.
But I guess there's just a line you got to cross.
Yeah,
Just
it's
give a
just
fuck
like,
anymore.
I think he's got to dive in and just
Yeah.
because I mean it's stuff I've talked about with people. Like it's I nothing I say I'm ever worried about. I'm worried about what the other person says sometimes. Like I'll be talking to a musician and they'll say something about how much they struggle to connect with fans on stage and that kind of thing. And I'm like, wow, that's so cool that you're saying this, but what are your fans going to think when they hear this? Am I allowed to put this in? And blah, blah, blah. So it's that kind of thing. That I don't really think about it in conversation, but subconsciously I think I am. And,
That kind of thing
kind
fans
of changes the way a combo might go.
Yeah. I think you'd be surprised how much fans actually do like to hear that kind of thing. They totally understand. They like.
I think
to
they'll
see,
like to hear it because they're interested. But if you're the fan of talking about Julia Stone, that's what she was saying to me, and it was a really good conversation. We're talking about, what her biggest challenges are going on stage because she's been doing it for so long, and she was saying things like that. It's like when you play the same, pretty much the same set every night. How can you properly connect with this dark room? Every single
that's
night.
very true.
And that's really interesting and really cool to hear. But if say you were a massive Angus and Julia fan, and what might you think? And you'd be like, oh, so we're not really having this connection here.
Yeah.
When you're playing, so that kind of thing.
Do you think that the genre of podcasting allows for conversations to take that kind of turn where you can ask more in-depth questions? Like you're not having like a 30-second conversation with like an artist and you're just trying to get some sound bites or whatever. You can actually go into areas and then people like kind of appreciate that like level of honesty and things like.
Yeah,
do you think that the genre
that's why I
allows for
wanted
that?
to kind of start recording, because I would have these kind of conversations pretty often with the people I travel with, especially on tours and even just a photography trip, because you're spending a lot of time with the same people. And everyone's just so good at what they do. Everyone's doing such cool things, and especially Angus and Julia, they're so funny. Like Julia in particular, she's like, and the whole band, they're just super funny. But you would never know that from what you see of Angus and Julia. They're very cool, Byron Bay, very chill, just kind of this very cool image. But they're just like all idiots and just funny and just run around just doing dumb stuff. So I think something like a podcast is a way to kind of bridge that gap, and you can talk about things more in depth, and people and fans or whoever's listening can get this more in-depth idea, and it kind of gives you this license to talk about more, just more real stuff. Because you're not going to bring that out. You're not going to talk about, my biggest fear on stage in a 2-minute radio interview. And then things get taken into context anyway. And
exactly.
I think there's this thing with podcasts is like, if someone's listening to it, they're properly going to listen to it and not, no one's going to like click on the podcast and just skip to like the middle part and grab like a sentence and be like, oh, cool. Like they would with a radio. You'd hear a second on a radio and be like, whatever. So I think there might be also this idea that, like the right people are listening. So you can, an artist or someone with a high profile, it feels a lot more comfortable going into the deeper stuff because it's not just going to be used against them or something like that.
They don't have to make up a sort of canned response. Something that's
That's
manufactured.
Good. I get it because I've done the radio interviews before where you literally get like 3 questions. And especially with me, like I've done some pretty like stupid stuff before, or just I don't know if you know the Steve Aoki video I did, stuff like that. So like that's if you just Google me, you'll see stupid stuff like that. And that's obviously a funny story. So that's one question gone. Hair's probably the next question. How long have you, So you've I reckon on radio, and probably ever since doing the Aoki thing, every radio interview since then, no matter what it's about, Survivor or photography or anything, that Aoki has come up in every one of them because they know it's like a funny soundbite story.
Oh
and
my
he's
God.
huge as well, so they gotta like get.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and I get it. Like, you got to
Yeah.
grab people. You got like a second.
Yeah.
But like with those questions, do they listen to what you say? But or do they just ask the question, you answer it, and then they don't even really listen, and then they ask the next question?
I think it depends, but
Because I get that vibe in a lot of radio interviews where they just ask questions.
Well,
ask
it's
questions.
really, if it's like a commercial radio one in particular, like you don't really have to listen. You kind of know what the answers are going to be, and you know what the next question you're going to ask is.
Yeah.
So unless something crazy goes down in that one answer, you're going to stick to your script. And
Yeah.
there's been like
boy.
I've done some TV interviews as well, and I did Studio 10 earlier this year, and that one's like, you know what the question, like they've got their question and reply already ready.
Really?
Is that the project sort of thing? What it is?
Yeah,
Is that what that is? Yeah.
It's like the daytime.
Oh, the daytime version.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, daytime Channel 10.
Yeah.
Great. Yeah.
So you get a sheet and it's got their questions and and like a little kind of blank space for your answer. So,
Wow.
But then the next question is under it. So like, there's a script.
Yeah. Wow.
That sounds like a test.
Well, I kind of liked in that instance because
Is it a
you
bit
gave me
nerve-wracking?
I got the kind of script in the green room, and I was like, cool. At least I know. Okay, cool. Aoki question there. All right.
Yeah.
Think of something funny.
Yeah.
Control
Or
F,
have
IOT.
kind of have like a joke ready for each question.
Yeah.
And we did go like a bit off script on that one, a tiny bit, but like every you also got to be wary. Every like extra second you're taking up means like you get a second less for. It's really brutal. You got really strict. So I remember, I think in that one I went a bit tangent, just a little bit, maybe like 20 seconds extra, going into depth into something, and then that meant one of the questions just got left out before that I wanted to answer. So it's like,
Yeah.
sure.
Do they have some phrase for that where it's like the economy of airtime or something like that? Like
Probably.
there's some weird phrase and you're just like, like gives that sense of like every second counts and they've got to get their questions
Yeah,
out.
it does.
Sam, Ben, and Ann here. So we did a little funny prank with Steve Aoki. Tell us about that.
And then I'll just say the same answer that I always do. I've just said this story so many times. It's I've got long hair and he's got long hair. People think we're the same. Malaysians look the same. Ha ha.
Yeah.
Ha ha. He's going to go. But I find that, that kind of, I talk so much about the same things. Like, the stories, like it's kind of like, I get it now, like with like Passenger, for example. When I first started touring with him, I was a bit, and I'd watch him go up and play his set every night, and then he'd usually say the exact same story and joke every single night. Like, and you wouldn't know it if you were in the crowd because it feels very kind of off the cuff.
Oh, with his crowd banter?
Yeah, like
Okay,
in between the songs, he'd tell the story, but like word for word, sometimes it'd be exactly the same.
Yeah.
And everyone loves it, but because I'm hearing it every night, and I was like, I'm sure he's really funny and quick. You could come up with new stuff.
Yeah.
But now I'm starting to get it now that I have to talk about what I do more and more. You do start realizing, what jokes are going to hit and what people are actually interested in, what people just tune out for.
Yeah.
And then if if you got thousands of people in the room, what are you going to go to? Like the story, like try and test it,
Yeah.
or just try some random new thing and then maybe no one laughs at it.
Yeah, tell a story and you're like halfway through where the fuck is this going?
So then I don't know, I'll just tell it the same way that everyone loves it. And then, so I'm starting to understand that more. But back when I first started working with him, I guess I didn't really realize, how much pressure you're under to kind of always just be a hit.
Yeah. It is a lot of pressure, hey?
Especially with musicians,
I imagine that if you did a podcast centered around the touring sort of thing, like touring with Passenger and anyone else, I imagine there'd be a lot of stories that would come up based around touring and based around just their lives in general. I feel like that'd be really interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So broadly, the series I'm working on is it's creativity and travel.
Yeah.
Kind of like those two broad themes together. So musicians are a great kind of person to talk to. That's all they do. Create stuff and travel around. Yeah. But same with photographers or anyone who's just under the pressure of having to turn creativity into work. You know, you can't just come up with a cool idea every now and then. You just have to be making this magic, like non-stop, churning it out, and then traveling around, you know, like a little circus kind of selling your wares. So I find that interesting. And then, yeah, you're right, a lot of interesting stuff comes up from tour.
Interesting stuff.
Interesting funny,
stuff on tour.
So many silly things. Yeah.
It'd be such a great environment. Like there'd be some kind of, does it get draining or is it kind of magical the whole time? Like you're on this big adventure of all your buddies.
It's definitely more draining than magical. Magical when you look back, I imagine, and imagining that with everybody. You're like, you know, those were the days, traveling the world, new city every day. Yeah. But when you're in it, it's actually really stressful and draining. And just, you know, you're just sleep deprived the entire time. So you are in really cool places every day, but you're only like half awake for it.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of pressure on everybody. Like for the musician, they have to take care of their voice and make sure they're healthy, and they've got the anxiety of, you know, playing to thousands of people every night. And then I've got the pressure of making sure I document it all, and I have to get up earlier than everyone else to go out and film the city or the sunrise, and then I'm staying awake later than everyone else to edit it. So everyone is just kind of, it's really cool because it's all your mates and you're just on this big adventure, but you're also working and there's a lot of pressure. So it's not a holiday. But yeah, really, really cool in the end. I reckon most places I've been to have been for us traveling musicians.
Yeah.
So many places I would never go unless it was because Passenger had a show in Lithuania or something. You know, I would never just go there. Well, I might, but you know, it's not like I wouldn't just go there for fun. Okay, I want to go to Lithuania now. But because of work and because I'm traveling with them, I've just hit all these places around the world that, you know, you just wouldn't normally do that.
I imagine Lithuania has some castles and stuff.
It does. We did some play bridges in a castle. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
In the courtyard of a castle.
Oh, cool.
Just I went right to the top of this attic turret spot and shot down into the thing.
Yeah.
And that was freaky. There was so many bugs and like cobwebs and spiders running around in this spot that I was. And it was so dodgy. Like it was creaking and that's you know, that's the kind of the funny and fun parts of tours. You just find yourself in these weirdest spots. You just roll with it.
Castle was probably built by a fucking crazy person.
Probably was. I doubt
someone with mercury poisoning.
I doubt anyone had been up where I was shooting from for a long time. It was just so dodge.
Pretty good shot though, I bet.
It was it was all right. Often the adventure to get the shot is more fun than the actual shot. It's like half the time it's not even worth it. The actual shot, you're like, oh, well, it's all right, won't even use it. But the funniness of climbing up through this abandoned castle, or just, that's what I love doing at every venue actually. That's the first thing I do when we get to a venue. I just go for and explore and see where I can get to. Yeah. And it's real great to have that license to be able to do that. You can't do that as a punter or anyone. You just get kicked out. Yeah. But because I'm with the band, I'm the photographer, I'll just open every door I can. Usually I'll just see how high I can get. And you can get to some cool places and venues.
Just with confidence and just
walk around. Yeah. And I've usually got some sort of pass. Like, it's cool. But I've shot shows from like the route, like in the rafters looking straight down onto like the crowd. And
oh, hell yeah.
And with a band, with like Passenger, for example, you know, there's only a few different shots I need to get per show. Lots of it remains the same. So if I'm feeling a bit cheeky, sometimes I will just, and there's a cool spot like up in the roof, I'll just go up there and just sit there the entire show. I'll take a few photos from the top, but I'll just be like, photos going to be the same as yesterday if I go down, so I'll just stay up here and I'll just relax. No one would ever know. Yeah. I have enough just stuff of everything that I don't actually need to shoot every show, really. Yeah.
I totally get that exploration.
It's fun.
That sounds amazing. Do you ever go on a hike or anything? Like really go out into the wilderness or anything and do that?
Yeah, I do quite a bit of kind of adventure stuff.
Yeah.
And the funny thing is, like, I really don't like hiking at all.
Yeah.
It's just annoying. exercise in general.
Yeah.
And you're hiking, you get hot, you get sweaty. But I've done so much of it to get a shot.
Yeah.
Which is what's good about photography, is it's forced me to
Yeah.
have all these experiences when in reality I'm pretty lazy. And I will just, you know, if I had it my way, I'd just sit at home just watching TV or playing computer games or something. Like, that's like an ideal life for me.
Yeah, that's
But I also have this like ambition and this kind of drive to get cool photos. So like I have to do all this stuff to get the cool photos.
Yeah.
Ugh, that ambition and stuff. Fuck.
It's good. It's made me, wake up for a lot of sunrises.
Yeah.
You know, sleep under the stars, all that kind of stuff. That, you know, if it wasn't for the photography, I just wouldn't do it because I'm too lazy.
Yeah, totally.
This is a pretty terrible story, but me and my friend got up early, wanting to. We got up at like 4 a.m. Went down to Cottesloe, wanting to catch a picture of the sunrise.
Yeah.
And we're like, you know, it's getting like brighter and brighter. It's kind of like that, like sort of pre-sunrise kind of like
Oh my god!
bluish glow.
I think I know where this is going.
And we're looking like out to the ocean. We're like,
I think
where is it? And like, not a great time. Not a highlight. This is many years ago. Back when I thought the moon was made out of cheese.
Yeah, if you don't understand it and you're listening right now, it's because the sun doesn't rise over the ocean. That's not how.
If you
the
don't
universe
understand
works.
it, you could easily have made the same mistake.
Yeah, you're on the little
I'm
wheel.
acutely aware because I used to work for Sculpture by the Sea,
Yeah.
and they have a Cottesloe edition and a Bondi edition.
Yeah.
So the money shot is always sun over the water with sculptures in the foreground.
Oh yeah.
So in Cottesloe, that's like 7 p.m. But to get the sun over the water in Bondi, that's like 4 a.m. I much preferred working at Cottesloe because I'll just rock up afternoon, get these awesome shots. But yeah, if you want the awesome shots in Bondi, you gotta wake up so early.
Yeah.
There's people running around in the dark. So it's like this war between fitness people and photographers in Bondi. It was really funny to watch actually, especially for Sculpture by the Sea. There'd be like it'd be still dark and everyone's getting ready for sunrise, and there'd be so many photographers out there with tripods, kind of clogging up the footpath. And then all these kind of girls in activewear like running past, and like everyone's just like angry at each other because they're taking up the space.
Yeah. Type A personalities.
Yeah.
Gotta wake up 4 a.m. Gotta do it.
So I saw you did you filmed a video for Passenger in like Yosemite. You did some
Yellowstone.
behind the scenes. Oh, Yellowstone.
Yeah,
sorry.
yeah.
That looked incredible. Some of the scenes there, and I remember there was a picture of Passenger like sitting against a tree, and it looked like, I don't know if maybe there'd been like a bushfire through there or something, but all the trees were like charred, and it was like just this beautiful image of like this like cloudy sort of grayish sky, and then like these like, I don't know, maybe they weren't burnt, but it was just darkened trees. It was awesome.
Did I take it?
Maybe not.
Probably, but I don't know. I've taken so many photos of him.
Yeah.
That was cool, that Yellowstone video.
Yeah.
We did this. It was a crazy idea. We had this. So he had a new album coming out. It's out now. But what he wanted to do was film a bunch of music videos before it was released, so we'd have them ready to roll out.
Yeah.
And we came with planning like, okay, let's shoot like 3 or 4 videos, you know, come to America, let's do a road trip. And we kind of agreed on that. But this always happens. So when I landed and met him at the airport, I was like, all right, so ideas changed a little bit, you know. I was like, Mike. I knew what it was going to be. It was going to be, let's do more stuff. So it turned into, from just doing like 3 or 4 music videos, 3 or 4 acoustic takes, a nice chill time, and then it was like, all right, well, let's film an acoustic track, an official like concept music video, and a behind the scenes for every single track on the album. So it's 10. So there's 30 different clips he wanted to film in 3 weeks whilst road tripping across America. So like 5 hours of driving a day.
Yeah.
I was like, oh man, this is going to be insane.
Yeah.
And it was super hectic, but we did it. And the last of the videos is coming out kind of this week. We've been rolling them out since like June or something, and they're still coming out now.
Did that include one of the one with the ballet dancer on the beach? Or
Yeah.
is that, yeah.
That was
really
part
good.
of that, and that was the last one we shot.
Yeah.
And we really had totally run out of ideas.
Yeah.
We'd like just used every single idea we could come up with. You know, him walking around, slow motion. Oh, how about we do extra slow motion and speed it up? Oh, why don't we get this and that? Like every idea we had we'd used. I was like, what are we gonna do for this last video? But so we were filming in Jersey, a few hours from New York, and I'd met a ballet dancer on an Iceland workshop a few years ago. And I often hit her up to make use of the rooftop of her ballet school.
Oh, yeah.
To film on there. And then I was like, oh man, you do ballet. We've got one more video left. We're all just tired of coming up with ideas. Do you reckon you could just make up a dance like tonight? And then tomorrow we'll go to the beach and just film it in one take. So I don't even have to edit it.
Yeah.
That's how that video happened. And it ended up probably being our favourite one.
Yeah.
Maybe because Mike's not in it for once. And it's just, this is really kind of beautiful one take shot of her. There was 5 takes that we took to actually get it, but the finished product is one.
Yeah.
We just used the last one. And
Oh man.
yeah.
Have you seen Birdman?
Yeah.
Yeah. I love that. That's such a great movie.
Yeah, I always appreciate a good kind of long cut, you know.
It's awesome. There's The Haunting of Hill House, which I don't know, there was a bit of hype around that when it came out on Netflix.
I haven't clicked on it yet. I probably will once I exhaust everything else.
Yeah. There's one episode where for like half the episode it was a continuous shot, like in this funeral home. Like, yeah, as soon as it's kind of weird because it makes sense, but like you'll watch this continuous shot for about 5 minutes before you're actually like, oh, like, yeah, this is like, this is going forever. And then you start to notice it. And then there's something inside you that just changes, like to how you're like interpreting the scene. Like there's some kind of like additional, it's usually suspense. It was definitely suspense in Haunting of Hill House, but like,
cool.
It brings in a new element to it. And you're like, yeah. And then with Birdman as well, there was this kind of like hurried, like intensity about being backstage at this theater and like,
never get a rest.
Yeah.
Have you seen Ghost Story?
Ghost Story.
Casey Affleck, I think.
No.
That's a really interesting one as well, and a lot of long shots. And it got a bit of criticism for some of it too. I really liked most of it, but there was one long shot which went for, I don't know, maybe 5 minutes, and it was just this girl eating a pie or something.
Okay.
Just like a whole pie to it, like just smashing it. And like it doesn't cut, it just stays on it. And it got like everyone was not happy about it. Some people loved it.
Why would they not be happy about it? Just they forced me to watch it. So
what a waste of our time just watching this.
I feel like that'd be
but
funny.
I guess, you know, but it's part of, you know, the whole story of which, you know, the whole film was about death and all, you know. So anyway, I recommend that one. Yeah. I'll watch the Inferno one. What's it called again?
Into the Inferno.
Okay, I was had to get it right.
That was what?
I'll
That
watch
was
that
Ghost
one
Story.
And you watch Ghost Story.
Ghost Story. And
I watched
Casey
it on
Affleck.
the plane. I don't think it's on Netflix. I saw it on the plane, but you find it somewhere.
You just have to get a flight and you watch it on there. Just a quick flight to Bali or something.
Yeah.
Not just
It might not even be called Ghost Story now I'm thinking about it.
I'll note that Casey Affleck's in it.
Casey Affleck.
I think it is.
Asterix.
The photo, like the promo photo, it looks like it's a comedy because it literally is this guy, Casey Affleck, in a sheet
Yeah.
with 2 holes in it. It looks like it's a funny dark comedy or something, but it's actually not at all.
Wow.
Oh damn.
So I clicked on it thinking it would be something funny. It was
That's
really heavy actually.
Have you seen In Bruges? With,
Maybe that rings
the
a bell.
Irish. What's the Irish guy?
Colin Farrell.
Yeah, that one. Was pretty much a dark comedy right the way through, and like spoiler alert, like a lot of people at the end like brutally die, and like you've been sort of like laughing but feeling guilty about laughing the whole way through, but it's tolerable and it's not too dark, and then everyone dies, and you're like, it just leaves you empty inside when you finished it. And you're like, oh,
That's how I want to feel after a movie.
yeah.
I won't rush to. I'll watch the Inferno one first.
Yeah. I think you really like that. I think
Cool.
it's definitely going to be right up your alley. It's so good. And I think the best thing about that is like, along with these stunning images, he creates this incredible narrative about volcanoes and explores like all these tribes and how volcanoes have informed our ideas about religion and things like that.
Like their mythology and their spiritual traditions, shamanic traditions. It's like, who would take that perspective? Like, who would think of that to make a documentary about volcanoes and then make most of it about tribesmen?
Yeah.
And, religious iconography, etc.
Yeah. He constructs it really well.
Yeah.
You'll enjoy it.
Anyway. Shouts out.
I'm obsessed.
Herzog.
Yeah, he's done a whole bunch of other volcano documentaries too, so I'm just going to breeze through all of it.
Oh, okay.
Check it all out. Oh, could you pass me the bottle opener?
There you
Do it with your teeth.
I've downed the coffee. Now it's onto this.
That's impressive.
Damn, that's homeostasis. Coffee and beer, and that's a balance. That's how biology works.
Yeah, I'm just back to neutral.
So there are a few questions I wanted to get into.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't even really need to say that. We're just sort of throwing them out anyway.
I have some questions.
Man, is that what you want to do?
Now I went commercial
I'm not
radio.
So Stevie Aoki,
How long you been growing your hair? I wanted to talk. This is kind of cool because to explore personally, because it's feel like I'm maybe kind of experiencing a similar thing at this point in my life. But you were originally studying law, and you did that for like maybe a year at UWA.
Yeah.
So I would say like at some point you realized that wasn't really your pathway, and you wanted to do something different. What was the process of coming to that realization? What were the feelings involved as well? Was it quite frightening to be like, oh, well, this isn't for me? And then did you know what was for you?
Yeah. It was a bit of there was no real kind of moment. In general, it was a bit of a rude awakening going to uni. And I stayed at a college, St. George's College, so I stayed on campus. And like going from, living at home and breezing through school is, it was pretty easy. I mean, it didn't feel like it at the time, I guess, but that was so easy.
Yeah.
And just used to being just the best at all that kind of stuff. And then suddenly going to university, just being away from my parents and just having to figure out, do everything on my own. And you have to, self-direct your study, and no one's yelling at you if you didn't study that night. It was just totally a new world for me. And I was like, and I was so behind within like 2 weeks. I just didn't know. Like I remember, I didn't even know what tutorials were. I didn't realize it was even a thing. I was in a bit of a daze. I think it was just really overwhelming. And like I was looking around, I was like, how do you guys all know all this stuff and like all these classes we have to go to? Because I would miss classes and everything. It was just not a great time. It was a bit of a downfall from like up here to like starting to fail.
It's a pretty common experience, I feel like,
so that was a big part of it, and barely passed that first year, and just I couldn't tell you anything that I learned in that first year. So I was like, what's the point of this? So I think just some part of me wanted to just do something different. Still wanted to be at uni because it was fun being around these people.
Yeah.
So I needed a fresh start. I can't keep doing this law thing. Like I already shedded it, and I think I started looking for ways to justify leaving as well. I was looking at like job satisfaction rates. Like lawyers were like the very bottom.
Yeah.
And I was like, all this stuff that I've had to memorize for these exams. Like it's not that interesting, and I hate it. So
lawyers are the ultimate lizards as well.
Yeah, very lizard.
Yeah,
lizard-like. And I started realizing, if I need to know any of this stuff for my job, like I'm gonna hate that job. So let's just get out of this. So I dropped law and I moved into. I was doing law arts, and so I changed to commerce arts, and went more down the marketing. Management kind of thing, which was better and felt to me more relevant, still not ideal.
Yeah.
Still like, kind of what's the point of this stuff?
Yeah.
I didn't feel like I was learning that much. But it was, at least I kind of understood it. Whereas the law stuff, I was like, I have no idea. And I don't want to have any idea either.
Yeah.
I started, because, I was just growing up watching TV shows like The Practice, and that's old school now. I was going to say, like, now it'd be like Suits, but back then there wasn't Suits.
Yeah.
But, on TV, lawyers look so cool.
Yeah.
Badass. They're just like smashing everyone. And then when you're like, when you're like, all right, I'm going to be a lawyer, I'm going to go to law school. And even law school, like, college in TV shows looks so awesome and cool as well. And when you get there, it's like, it's just reading books for 10 hours, isn't it?
Yeah.
Just got to memorize this, got to look for like some tiny loophole in this massive text. And like,
Oh, dude.
it's not the same as TV.
Oh, no way.
So that's when I dropped that. But I had a good experience at college. I really loved living on campus. That was the really positive part about my uni experience.
Yeah. So changing over to arts commerce, did you, at any point during that time, did you know what you wanted to do after uni, or were you just kind of trying to align your studies with with what you valued and what sort of resonated with you?
Like a few years into it is when I started taking photos. So like, as an undercurrent to all this stuff, music was my passion. Anything music. So I was playing music, I was playing in some like college bands, going to concerts every weekend. I was just a huge fanboy. Just kind of anything, any musician, any cool music thing going on, I just wanted to be involved.
What's your jam at the moment? What do you get around? What are you listening to?
See, the passion has kind of died off.
Oh yeah,
Stevie Aoki?
Stevie Aoki, number one. Just listen to my own music. No, I really don't make a lot of time to listen to new stuff anymore.
Yeah.
And the majority of what is just playing on my iTunes or Spotify are just people that I work with.
Yeah.
So it's like Passenger, Angus and Julia.
Oh, yeah.
Or just my mates, and I've got a lot of music mates. So like there's enough stuff there, but I don't, I used to sit and just like search for new music.
Yeah.
And just, I wanted to be the cool guy that knew about this band before everyone, So that was what it was like back then. So that's what was going on, the music stuff. And then I started thinking, okay, I'm pretty good at writing. So journalism and music journalism in particular was something I was like, okay, that could be something. So that kind of justified the communication studies and a bit of like the marketing stuff as well. And then at some point I started taking photos at concerts. I remember a lot of it was just I wanted to do something cooler than sit at the back of the room with a notepad, because I was writing reviews of concerts back in the day. But I had a mate who was a music photographer, and this is way back where no one had cameras. Now everyone just has a cool camera, but back then like he had this cool camera, and he would always be right up the front taking photos like a meter away from these awesome artists, and I was be so jealous. How come you get to go up there? And I was like, I reckon I could do that as well.
Yeah.
So one day I just kind of faked it a bit and got a photo pass for a festival.
Yeah.
And borrowed a camera and just ran around, and it was so cool. I looked like such a fraud.
Yeah.
I was like, this is so much better than writing.
Yeah.
Writing sucks. It's like less work and more fun taking photos. So I can't remember how I started on that, but that was what was kind of going on in the background. And then like a few, I just started taking photos of things outside of concerts as well.
Yeah.
That's kind of how the photography thing grew alongside me, doing uni. And at some point it got to the stage where I was like, well, I probably can actually do something with this photography thing, and I don't really need the uni thing anymore.
Yeah.
So I started cutting back more and more until eventually I was part-time, and then eventually I just stopped going.
Yeah.
When I had 2 units left.
Oh.
I just left.
Yeah.
I was like, all right, well, I'll come back to that later, but right now there's really cool stuff going on. I'm going to get rid of this big stress of deadlines on the uni side and and just kind of head off.
So that decision to like sort of fake your way into getting a photography pass to the event, like that really speaks to your nature. Hey, like that's kind of very much aligned with how you are as a person. Like, do you feel like that act, there's like some fraud, weight to that act? No, terrible wording. But that coming from that sense of adventure and going into the unknown, and
I think so now for sure.
Yeah.
Back then, I wouldn't have seen it that way. I probably was just like, I'll just give it a shot, maybe. Yeah. But definitely now, that's I think you can kind of create your personality, over the years.
Yeah.
And I think that's what's happened with that kind of attitude of just do it. It's going to be funny if it doesn't work out, and if it does work out, then it's good.
So like kind of like a running theme is really you've been feeding that kind of part of yourself, that kind of adventurous, I want to put myself into very uncomfortable or unique situations. You've just been feeding it, and then
direct experience.
Yeah, and you've developed this kind of pathway through, like finding a unique behavior that you have and kind of giving it what it needs to thrive in a kind of weird woo-woo way.
No, I get it. Yeah, I think I've kind of trained myself to become that way, which is, I don't know, it's a weird way to put it, but if you talk to me way back then when I was first starting out, that part of my personality probably wasn't as present, maybe it's bubbling under somewhere. I always wanted to do funny things, like unique things, and just do random things for no reason. Like I always like doing that, usually just to be funny. Still now.
Yeah.
Sometimes now I'll wish that something goes wrong just because I know it'll be funnier.
Yeah.
And then it's a funny story instead of just some thing that happened. So I think like, especially this photography route that I've gone, and the way, like it's funny. Like I don't know how much of it was, how much is nature, how much is nurture, would I have turned out as daring and doing silly things, if it wasn't for the photography and touring with bands and having to problem solve and just get myself out of situations that I've been in, not on purpose.
Yeah.
So all that stuff has that, formed the personality now, because now I just love it, and I kind of love it when things go wrong, and you have to do weird things to get out of it.
I feel like how you were saying before, how if you didn't have the photography, you would just be at home playing video games and stuff. I feel like that is across the board how everyone is. Like if you don't have like some sort of driving factor, like some sort of passion or just anything, then that is usually what you just default to. And like who you are kind of is like the modes you use to mold yourself, you know what I mean? Yeah.
Yeah, I think I'm very lucky that way, that because it probably was a chance thing that photography came into my life.
Yeah,
it might be this crazy passion for someone else who's just never considered it as well.
Yeah.
So if things had worked out differently, I never ended up picking up a camera. Maybe I would just actually be sitting at home. And Uber Eats, watching Netflix, which is what I do anyway when I am at home. But maybe I wouldn't even have, this door wouldn't have opened up at all.
Yeah.
And probably definitely a lot of people would be facing that situation. So I'm like really lucky that photography came in, because it could have easily been just like some other random job came up, and then I ended up just doing that job for the rest of my life because I liked it and it was whatever.
It was comfortable.
Yeah. Which, who knows? That could have happened very easily. So I do count myself very lucky that photography came along. I discovered it. Like things had to align. It had to all work out very quickly. If it didn't work out quickly, probably would have given up photography. Usually, in most cases, I don't enjoy doing things unless, like I said, no one enjoys doing things they're not good at. But I don't tend to persevere being shit at something.
You don't get the immediate feedback.
I need at least a bit of immediate awesomeness, be like, oh, this is a glimmer of hope.
Yeah.
So luckily I got that, and luckily it was photography, and then like it all just like took off. It could have been like such a different story.
That's really interesting. I feel like so many people end up in career pathways that don't fit who they are and they're not happy with, but they cling to it because it's comfortable and it's that paycheck,
societal
routine, and the fear of societal pressures, and the fear of like taking a gamble on something a little bit left field is too frightening. So they gravitate towards the comfort, and I don't know. I feel like what the best thing a person can do is like, sure, work on things on the side, like finish the degree or keep working at the degree. But like in terms of what you do in your spare time, like cast your net out as wide as you can and like expose yourself to as many experiences and try new things, because you're going to increase the likelihood that you're going to find that thing that's just like, yes. And then it's going to take you down a pathway in life that's going to be, I mean, if you value a life where you're going to do something unique and have a life that's very different, that's 1 in a million or whatever. If that's something that you value, then cast your net out wide and try and just find that thing that just instantly clicks. Because I think everyone generally has that to some capacity, when whatever it is. If even if you like making like working with wood and making furniture, if that's your thing, whatever you want to do, I just feel like the worst thing you can do is ignore that drive, that desire to seek out something more, something of the, like meaning and fulfillment, and just go into the desk job and be like, this is comfortable. It's like, oh.
Yeah, it's a tough one, because it's hard to, like, looking back, you can see these things much clearer, but at the time when you're in it, you don't realize that you are just doing it to be comfortable or and I'm very aware of how lucky and how rare it is to be able to make a living out of something you really do enjoy. And a lot of things that people, it's hard. So, it's hard for me to preach that. It's what I believe, like what you just said. But I'm also aware when I'm, if I'm talking to a group of people about the same thing, I'm like, a lot of, whatever, like some of you might have these passions, but most of them you probably can't make a living out of it anyway. And to do so, you'd have to sacrifice this and this, and it might not even work out. Blah blah blah. So it's like, I know that like it's hard for me to be like, everyone do this. Quit your desk job. It sucks. Yeah. Do whatever you want because it's much more fun. But I know that it's a real small percentage of realistically that actually being able to happen for most people.
Yeah, it's that you got to be able to reconcile it. Like it's got to make money. It's got to be sustainable. You can't just
And for some people, I recommend not dropping everything. And a lot of people that come to me about photography, for example, like, oh, you've inspired me to quit my job, and I'm like, I mean, you have to really have the drive to do that.
So that's not something you're actively trying to promote. You don't want necessarily people to be too rash, or you don't want to send that message.
Yeah, well, I mean, the message I want to promote is everyone just have fun, basically. Yeah, and and to follow your dreams, but with a little asterisk. Keep it realistic. Some people I think they get caught up, and Instagram is like the worst for this, because you see it appears that everyone is doing awesome and traveling well, taking photos, and like, guys, trust me, like none of them make any money.
It's very constructive.
But some people see that and it's like, shit, I want to do that. Everyone's doing it. I'm going to do it. But for some people, like, I can just tell, like, trust me, you're much better off. Keep photography as a hobby, because if you drop everything and try and make it work, I reckon you're going to hate it. Yeah. I reckon you're going to stop loving photography. You'll realize what it's about, and it's not all that fun. And then you've lost your other job. Like for some people, things like photography are better as a hobby than as a career.
Yeah,
sure.
Absolutely.
Aside from photography and just in general, though, I guess you're going to die and you're not going to take your money with you, so you might as well prioritize direct experience over security.
It changes when people have families.
That's an extreme view. That's
everyone,
the thing. Don't have a fucking family.
That's what everyone tells me, because I say all this stuff and then people are like, yeah, but man, wait till you have a kid. Then you can't just YOLO around.
Yeah,
and
it gets complicated.
Yeah, it's different. But, for young people, I do try and just explore and experiment, just do lots of stuff.
Yeah.
And see, because, now's the time, like you will have a kid someday, or you'll be married, and you can't just run off and do whatever you want. Like now you can, and if things go wrong, just move back in with your parents.
Yeah.
Like you'll be fine no matter what. So just do it. But you can't keep saying that when, if someone's 45 years old, you can't, do it, it'll be fine. Like,
Yeah.
No, you probably have a mortgage now. You can't just take a risk on photography.
That's
That's why you got to buy a van and not have children.
Yeah, that's the main
Out of a van.
message. Yeah.
yeah. Oh, dude. Yeah, my biggest beef with social media is
Ooh,
like
there you go.
that. I've always said this.
Beef segment.
Beef. Biggest beef, and one of my motivations for doing a long form structure of podcasting is like social media. Yeah, you're looking at people's like highlights reel. It's very embellished, and you know, as an individual, you compare someone's highlights with your entire like spectrum of your life. So all the low points in your life compared with their, the highest points, it's really destructive, and that's I think that skews a lot of people's perspective of reality and what their life should be like.
Because it's a natural human instinct to compare.
Yeah,
like we're literally wired to compare to that person, so we can gauge where we are within that environment. But
it's frightening.
Yeah, I mean, you see sometimes like people taking photos or something and then like immediately posting it, and you're like, they don't look like they're having fun at all. But the photo probably looks fucking bomb.
Yeah.
But
probably quite a few of my photos, I like that.
Yeah, but you probably are having fun.
Yeah, a little bit, but not as much fun as it might seem, or not as relaxing or whatever as it might seem.
I'm also talking about some of the girls you see on the Discover page, that type of thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know exactly what you mean.
That's a terrible place.
Yeah.
It's
that's the lowest of the low when you're on that page.
It's strange little Instagram world.
Yeah. It's you got to switch off from it sometimes as much as possible, really. Small doses.
It's like, it's good. I mean, you get the thing with Instagram and the internet is you can get a lot of inspiration from it.
Yeah.
But you can also just feel like shit as well.
Yeah.
From the same photo. Yeah. Someone might post this awesome thing where, oh man, like depending on what mood I'm in, I'm like, sick, that's so cool, well done, and I want to go there too. But another day I might be like, oh my God, how come you get to go there and I don't? How come you got that job? And it's like, why am I at home when you're here? So it's just,
most of the time I think, why are they posing in front of that thing like that? You know what I mean?
It's kind of chain reaction, because someone does it and then someone else copies that.
Yeah.
And then enough people do it and it becomes the thing.
Gets traction.
The whole Instagram famous girl, I don't know if there's a phrase for it, but girls that want to be famous on Instagram.
Yeah.
I think there's like a bubbling sort of, I won't say mental illness, but like a version of it where they feel inferior because of seeing these Insta hoes, to put it like that.
I think he came up with the term.
Yeah, and they're just like a girl who lives in a suburb, and it's just totally fine for them to be who they are, but they feel like they have to be like this, like beautiful, world traveling, just heavy socialite, so many friends, 7,000 likes, that sort of thing, and I think it really probably is twisting their minds a little bit.
Yeah.
To not put it very lightly, because I see this in a lot of people I know.
Yeah, I get. Yeah, I mean and especially now when I don't know how old are you guys?
67.
Yeah, I thought so.
24.
Yeah, 24.
Oh yeah, I'm 30, but so social media was not a thing until I got to uni, basically. But so.
Thank God.
There's some sort of grounding where I can understand life before social media and after. So I think I'm kind of you guys are probably like similar.
We're just.
Whereas like if you were
Just
if you
over.
were a bit older than me, then you know you probably wouldn't get social media.
No,
and if you were younger, if you're like this generation now that's growing up, that's all you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like you have no idea. All you know is Instagram.
And Fortnite.
That's scary.
Snapchat.
That's scary.
Fortnite.
Yeah. So
TikTok, there's a new one, TikTok.
Yeah. So
I
you
don't
don't
get
have
that
that other, you don't have like the control of
Yeah.
pre-social media life to kind of
That
back
reference
on.
point.
Yeah. Yeah.
kind of
It's
thing.
like all you know is that,
Yeah.
which is like a crazy fabricated world anyway.
Oh, yeah.
So that's kind of, so it is a serious problem if you get stuck in this bubble of social media.
It's kind of like a really fucked up way of growing up knowing two languages,
yeah.
except it's two different realities. It's like you have the real one where you go to school and shit, but then you have the other one where you come home and just on your iPad watching Fortnite gameplays. So I don't know what they're doing.
Yeah.
Even with that reference point, like that understanding of what life was like before it took over, I guess you could say, it's still very captivating. I still find myself getting pulled in. I still find myself checking my phone, every so often and then check, like, like the same. I check my phone the way you'd like check your fridge for food when you're hungry and then go back and check it and be like, there's still nothing there.
Yeah, still not satisfied at all.
Yeah, and you just like
open it.
Exactly, and like, so it has that pull on me, and that's speaking from someone who, like all of us here have that reference point to reality. The people that younger than us that don't, it's like they're really in trouble because the only reason I sort of have any understanding that it's wrong to be absorbed in that world is because I know that there's another world available to me. But they have less of a understanding of the divide between the two. Yeah, I don't know. It's pretty scary. But back on, I think
who knows? We're probably transitioning into a fully fake world sometime soon.
VR.
So maybe they're going to be the ones well equipped.
yeah,
and
they'll be
we're
ahead of
just
the
going to
game.
fall behind because we
That's true.
clinging to this real world.
Yeah.
It ain't going to be a real world at some point.
That's freaky.
Ah, damn.
I won't go
Oops.
there.
Oopsie. Oops.
But back on, talking about like people pursuing like maybe things that they're passionate about and stuff. I sort of came to this conclusion with that thinking over time that a good way to approach that scenario or just life in general is to I just have this sense that if you pursue things that are uncomfortable, like you just always go after discomfort, that's like subjected to the individual. Like what is uncomfortable for you is different to me. And I think that the nature of what's uncomfortable to a person is so because it's touching on areas of their life that they need to improve in or that they're insecure about, like which are indicators whether they can grow. So if you just take this like approach to pursue discomfort as much as possible within reason, obviously don't like go and like for a run and just like smash your body and collapse, but like pursue uncomfortable situations. It's the greatest like rule book towards like growing as much as possible. And I think that's kind of a way of like embodying that kind of go like find something that is meaningful and fulfilling to you, but with that hint of realism, like that reality.
Yeah.
It's just like go do things that are just like uncomfortable for you to go and do because that's going to be that indicates that you can grow and become a better person. That's sort of where I got with that kind of.
Yeah, I'll talk about that quite a bit actually, especially with creativity. And I did a podcast with Osher Ginsberg.
Yeah.
And we talked a lot about that and a lot about fear and chasing the fear.
Yeah.
Because that's where, that's where the amazing stuff happens on the other side of that.
Definitely.
And we talked about that in the context of creativity is probably where I talk about it a lot, especially with photography and advice to younger people is that, if you live in that uncomfortable space, And it's a lot harder. It's a lot easier to say it than to do it. Because if you say it sounds cool when you say it, pursue the uncomfortable stuff. But then actually living in it, it just sucks. You're like, you're so stressed and anxious about everything you're doing.
Yeah.
But actually, that's where you do learn and grow. And if you just stay, and if I put it in the frame of like photography, for example, and this is another thing that is wrong with, it's unfortunate with social media, is that everyone sees the amazing stuff happening, especially with photographers. Look at this person traveling, doing this crazy thing.
But not the process.
That's all that people want to get to. They want to get there and they want to skip all this stuff in between. And then they get disheartened when it doesn't work out. Yeah. Whereas luckily I was learning and cutting my teeth kind of only the very beginning stage of social media. And not a lot of people were doing what I do anyway back then. But to learn photography, I had to do so much shitty stuff. I was taking nightclub photos at the Mustang and the Dean, Thursday nights at the Mustang. I was just doing everything just to learn. Yeah. And I still kind of liked it, but I also didn't like it a lot as well, especially the nightclub stuff. Being like this young, skinny Asian photographer amongst gross drunk people.
Oh, especially the Mustang.
That was like just like the worst.
Yeah.
But I did a year of that, and the stuff I learned then, without realizing it, at the time you're like, oh, this is great because I'm learning how to how to do my job, in this high pressure growth situation. You don't think about that. Yeah. But looking back, you're like, oh wow, all those nights I did there, and all those shit photography jobs I did, I know so much because of that. And I now know, and that's just one example, but there's so much of that. But now I know I've honed my skills. I can shoot in any situation. I'll know how to handle every situation. Like it's been done before. So I think a lot of that is getting missed out now by photographers who might be starting now. Yeah. They're not going to go and shoot nightclub photos because, they haven't seen it. Like which ones of their idols are posting nightclub photos as, they're.
Yeah.
So it's like, I think, just going through that real shitty phase is something that should be encouraged.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then, and now also since I've had this Survivor experience as well, it was a similar thing, especially just when I was in this kind of isolation period before the show started, before the game started. I was freaking out so much.
Yeah.
I was so anxious and kind of having panic attacks and everything. I was like, what the fuck am I doing? I don't need to do this. I've got a very successful career. I don't need to risk it and possibly look like an idiot in front of everyone. Like everyone thinks I'm pretty cool at the moment because of Instagram. They don't see how uncool I am, but everyone thinks I'm pretty cool right now.
They don't see you surviving for your life.
Yeah, I don't need to be this idiot who doesn't know how to make a fire. I don't have to do that. Why am I doing it? All that stuff's going through my brain, and then but I guess luckily I'd got to the point where I did recognize that pursuing the stuff you're scared of and the fact that I was freaking out about it is also a reason why I should do it.
Yeah. Because you're kind of subconsciously you're freaking out about it because there's a part of you that's going, this is going to make me have to face some things that I might be lacking in. You wouldn't be afraid if you thought, I've got this in the bag. Smash it. So the fear is telling you that there's something there's some area, some room for growth.
Yeah.
So you've got to listen to that.
Yeah. The main thing was just fear of humiliation. That's the main thing.
Yeah.
I was like, I don't mind being intentionally funny and bad at stuff.
Yeah.
I can control that, and I'm quite self-deprecating in a lot of things I put out there. But this was totally different. This is a real thing. I don't have control about it. Someone else could make me look really bad if they wanted to. So that was a bit of a mental hurdle to get over. And very glad I did because it was a good experience.
Yeah. I want to keep talking a bit about the Survivor stuff, but also back on a point you made before, people don't see, we tend to overlook that hustle or however you want to describe it, that period of hard work and where you have to do things you might not like to kind of get to that end point. And I notice a tendency of people that well, people have a tendency to look at someone that's successful and they try to discredit them with statements about that person, like, oh, he had it easy. You know, his parents, like, they gave him the money to do what he did, or whatever it is.
Yeah.
But they're not trying to discredit that person as an individual. They're trying to discredit the knowledge that that person had to work hard. They want to try and remove that from the scenario so that they can look at that person and go, well, he's successful because of that.
Yeah.
So
Security.
they kind of have to they're kind of justifying why they don't want to work hard at something or really do something.
Yeah,
you know
I guess
what
it's
mean?
a bit of human nature. You know, when you see someone do something cool and you're not doing it, you're like, you come up with an excuse why you're not doing it.
Yeah. You're like,
because it's easier to do that than
to face.
I mean, I do it too as well. You know, everyone
yeah.
does.
Yeah, everyone does. It's
easy to
I'll look
create
at,
things in your own head instead of
and sometimes
outwards.
sometimes it is. I don't think it's totally a bad thing.
Yeah,
because you can't do everything cool that exists ever.
Yeah,
some things you do look at, and maybe it's a nice shortcut for your brain to be like, well, I'm just going to rule that one out because I'm not. You know, that person has this advantage and that's why they're doing it. I don't have that, so I just won't think about that.
Yeah,
you kind of like can create parameters.
We'd tear ourselves apart if we didn't do it. Yeah. It's finding that bad. It's realizing, it's catching yourself in the moment, going like, well, am I being a bit irrational with how I'm looking at this person, and maybe this thing that I'm interested in doing, maybe I need to ramp it up and really work hard at it, you know, instead of just sort of blaming the world and throwing excuses out there and whatever it might be. But how did the Survivor thing eventuate? Like, so there's an application process, and
there was,
and you were just like, I'll do it.
Pretty much, yeah. I mean, I love Survivor. The US version, I've watched probably all of them, I think. And then, you know, I started hearing about the Australian version. I heard about the first one, but didn't. I thought it might be kind of shit because it's, you know, just some spin-off Aussie version. So I was like, whatever. And then I didn't even watch that. But then the application's open for the second season. And I was like, you know what? I'm just going to apply. And I know that I am most likely not getting in, but I might as well apply because, you know, who knows? And part of it also was, you know, this probably isn't going to work out, but I should just get my name in front of these producers anyway. Someone's going to watch this and maybe they'll think I'm cool for something else. Or maybe now they know who I am, and before they hadn't seen my face ever. So I was like there's no lose option here.
Yeah.
So I did that, applied on the very last day.
With an audition tape?
Yeah, you had to send in a video.
Yeah.
So I just did a selfie. Yeah. But luckily I've done so much dumb stuff before that I have all these cuts that I just quickly cut them in over me talking. So luckily there was a lot of like just silly stuff, just me like Steve Aoki, or just like client sitting on the edge of buildings and everything. So I was like, cool, just put them all in. Then there was a phone call. Then there was a group audition so I was traveling. I was in Africa. Yeah, I was in Africa. And then they needed me to come to a group audition in Perth, but I was still in Africa. And I was like, is there any, can I audition anywhere else? I said, well, you can audition in Sydney if you want. And that was like a few days later.
Yeah.
I was like, I have to change my flight. I had to like go straight from Perth to Sydney. So like Namibia to Perth to Sydney, like without stopping.
Damn.
I was like, fine, I'll just do it. Whatever. Get myself in the room. This is like just the next step of getting my face in front of these people. It's like now I'm getting myself in the room with producers, and no matter what happens, could leave some sort of impression. So yeah, did that, and I still hadn't watched any of the first season at all. So I torrented it, and then on the 30-hour plane journey, I watched every single episode of the first season. I just sat there, I kind of skipped bits and pieces, but like for pretty much 24 hours, I just sat and watched Survivor, just so I'd know some intel, and because they're going to be like, who was your favorite from that, and I wanted to be able to answer that properly. So yeah, and got through that. There was a group audition, which was really quite fun. They kind of mock up some challenges and a little tribal council and everything like that. Got through that, just kept getting through, and then eventually just got the call up.
Where did they film?
Oh yeah,
Samoa.
Okay, damn.
So you would have known the politics pretty well of the show. The politics of the show.
Yeah.
Being such a fan of it, you probably would have known some little. Tricks,
but a lot of like super fans, and I would not classify myself like that.
Yeah.
A lot of super fans get cast as that kind of character. The person that knows the game and knows every episode, and they're usually the shittest at the game.
Oh, right.
Because they just have locked themselves into like, oh, this guy did this on season 32, so I'm going to do that exact same thing without, often the super fans can't really read social situations properly.
Yeah.
They're like textbook, they'll just know some historical reference, but that's not going to suit what situation you're in now.
Yeah.
But having like an understanding of the politics and how it works, it's just so political. And I wish I focused even more in my preparation on on politics and power. And I did that a lot. That was my main preparation. A lot of people, just doubled their workout, whatever. I did nothing, nothing of that sort. But I did kind of study, theories of power and things like that, because that's really what it is all about. How to hold power without looking like you do, because as soon as you look like you do, that's when someone will come for you.
Yeah.
People will be afraid, yeah.
Yeah. And it helped. It definitely helped. And my plan kind of worked for most of the time until like some things happened and then didn't.
Okay. I haven't watched it, but what was your plan initially, like going into it?
Like it's a pretty boring plan, my style of play, but it was to be that kind of hidden force of power, kind of always be the second in command, appear to be the second in command, and have like all these shield. You always need somebody close to you that is a more enticing option to target.
Yeah. Okay.
So I teamed up with this real sneaky guy.
Yeah.
Who's like he's not really villain, but on the show he comes across as like the villain.
They edited it that way.
Sorry?
They edited it that way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean he definitely did things that you can draw from and cast him like that, and he knows that. He probably did it on purpose as well.
True.
But really, he's a pretty nice guy. But so he was like we were partners. So I as long as I have him next to me, I was totally safe, because people want to take out, the person that's threatening the most, and he's way more threatening than me. Even though we're making every single move we're choosing to vote this person out together.
Yeah.
He gets all the blame because he wants it and I don't want it, and I just blame everything on him. And so it's like a little shield you have there. And then the other person I teamed up with was an Olympic water polo player. So she was like the physical shield.
Yeah.
So when you're like, who am I going to vote out? This like skinny Asian boy or this 2-time Olympian who can smash us in this other thing? Like, so it's like insulating yourself, but having kind of some control over both of them, and having like multiple, things going on without everyone realizing. So it's kind of just like putting yourself in this position where all these people need you, and they don't realize, really what you're doing. So yeah, it really did work, that strategy, but there was some twists thrown in.
Okay.
Where my strategic shield guy got swapped to the other tribe, and we all think it was on purpose. It's like, oh, there's a twist, random tribe swap.
Yeah.
So all this stuff happened. So he's gone, and then the episode that I went, my other shield girl, she won immunity, so she can't get voted out. Damn. So then suddenly I haven't got that guy, haven't got her, and no one really even wanted me out. That's how well I had played the non-threatening thing. Yeah. But it was just like, he's like, just get him. He's like partners with this girl, and we can't get the girl, so let's just get him. Yeah. But normally when people do their vote out thing, they'll really bag out the person they're voting out in the private confession booth. They'll be like, I'm voting out you because you suck. I hate you. All this stuff. And so you don't know that till you see the show.
Yeah.
So when I was voted out, I was watching it. I was like, oh shit, I'm quite scared about what people are going to say. But it was all like, oh, I'm sorry, man.
Yeah.
Like, oh, I hope we can catch up in Perth. It was like, man, it kind of made it feel worse. I was like, no one actually even wanted me out.
Yeah.
It's just convenient.
Someone could have at least been like, you fucking
Yeah, no one. No one. One guy was like, oh, you don't know how to play the game. And that was like the worst it got. And I was like,
Oh.
yeah.
So when you're like coming up with these, you're colluding with these two people, are you like, is it like late night conversations by the campfire? Just kind of, how much do they film you? But like
Pretty much everything, yeah.
Oh man, is that weird?
And you're not really allowed to go and have a conversation unless there's a camera. So there might only be like 2 cameras around. But if I want to go talk to AK, sneaky guy, then a camera has to be there.
Right.
Otherwise, we can't just walk off. Like if
so
we walk off, a camera has to come. So if there's only 2 cameras, then
so you'd sometimes have to maybe go and grab the cameraman and say, I'm just going to go and talk to this person.
yeah, or you catch their eye or something, or you start kind of walking off and you just look around and a camera coming. Wow. And if they don't, you're like, well, okay, we have to stay here then.
What a bizarre world to live in.
That
so
is.
it's actually very hard to sneak off and have a conversation.
Yeah.
So you make it really quick. Or at night, you can whisper around the fire. You risk someone else hearing it. But you just learn to just, kind of find your time. And you know what? It was really fun.
So
and I wished
interesting.
I had more fun with it. I was taking it pretty seriously when we got out there. Much more serious than I thought, because I could see like such an obvious pathway for me to get to the end. Like, this is like actually working out perfect to plan. Don't screw it up. And then I started getting real serious. Like, man, I could actually win. So don't do anything dumb. And there was a phase where at some point I stopped having fun with it. Because it actually is really fun sneaking around and lying about people.
Yeah.
Like, you can't do that in real life.
Yeah, no.
Well, you can. But it's like a game. Like, that's what it comes down to. It was a game. It's like, how funny would it be? And when we pulled off like these big moves, it was really it was quite funny. Sad because sometimes some innocent person is like the target. But that was like the most fun. Like, when we pulled off this move against these other guys which were trying to secretly come for us.
Yeah.
But we already had the jump start and we were secretly coming for them. And, they think that they're pulling off something really cool. And then the penny drops and they start realizing, oh shit, they've got us. That was so fun. Because you spend like 3 days whispering to people and be like, and you never know if anyone's really with you or not. You just assume people are lying. So I'd run up to you and be like, hey man, I know, like, I'm going to trust you with this. Don't tell anyone, but we're going to vote out this girl. Don't tell anyone. And then you'll be like, yeah, let's do it. And I won't know whether you're going to tell them or not.
Yeah.
So it's like that. You're running around just like not knowing what the lies are. And then it all comes down to this point. And you're like, shit, that plan worked. We got him out. That's so funny.
Damn.
You're gone.
That's a weird state of like paranoia and excitement and
exactly. So much paranoia.
Is there any sort of normal casual banter? Just like,
yeah, there is, because you got to remember
yeah.
that it's. I mean, I was out there for 37 days, and it's 24/7 that this is going on. So you have all that, and then there's normal conversations, long periods where nothing happens. But you'll always kind of get sucked back into the game. You'll just have a nice chat with someone for like 20 minutes about whatever, life at home.
Yeah.
And then, there'll be a bit of silence and you're like, all right, so what are you thinking for like the vote? And it'll just come back into it. And you just never know, who to trust or not. So, and it just gets you like, even like your most trusted allies, you start thinking like the Olympian, Ziggy is her name. We are super tight, like so tight, never going to betray each other. But then you start thinking like, imagine if she's just playing this whole time.
Yeah.
We've like done everything together for like 37 days. You're like, it would be amazing if like every time you were going to camera, you were being like, this Jarrad guy is such an idiot. And you're just like, oh man, imagine if.
Oh my God.
And then you're like, you just don't know what to believe anymore.
Yeah, that sounds like just living in a fever dream for me. Just like 24/7.
It's like huge kind of like, it does feel like a dream. It's this big blur of like this random period of my life.
Yeah, I was filmed
Like
for
normal,
37 days.
and then this random spot. Like, how do you even explain it? And then back to normal.
Sometimes I fantasize about surviving on an island, but just in real life. No cameras or anything, just like actually just...
I don't think I would like it at all. I think I like the idea of it, but I know
maybe.
not like the actuality.
Maybe I just like the idea of it. Maybe I just... Because I think of it when I'm like sick of like city life. I'm like, fuck it, I just want to just like live off the grid. But in actuality, maybe, yeah, it would be untenable.
It'd be a simple life. Well, it's kind of a simple life, but it's also like you just start realizing how much you have to do to actually just be alive.
Just to get to the day,
You're like,
yeah.
man, like you can't just go get some tap water. You have to go and find some water. You got to boil it. You do all this stuff.
That's
Like it's just like, man, just get some water.
Yeah. But that gives you so much meaning, but just in such a simple way.
Yeah.
Like you don't have to look for a career or anything. Just like,
Exactly.
I'm just trying to live.
Career in
And then
life.
that's all your meaning right there.
It's quite funny how quick you adapt to it though. And when you're out there, so much of your time is spent just telling yourself, okay, like this is so hard. I don't have anywhere to sleep. I don't have water. I don't have food. You know, when I go back to the real world, I'm going to be more grateful. I'm going to appreciate everything. I'm going to, you know, a pillow is going to be, I'm never going to take a pillow for granted. And within like 2 days of being out, I was like, just wasting my food again.
Road rage.
Yeah. Like it wore off pretty quick. Like I got used to real life so quickly again. But it does, like some of it was real brutal, real tough. And something good that has come out of it is when I'm struggling in some whatever thing I'm doing, I have a reference, like we were talking about before, I have a reference of how shit it actually can be. And like, it's not that bad, is it? Remember when I was like trying to sleep in the rain
Yeah.
and, you know, getting hypothermia, or like, remember that? Okay, it's not that bad, is it? And then you kind of...
Yeah. That's a practical example of the discomfort thing, isn't it? Like of it of that in effect.
I've gone through that now. And, you know, in some way you are a tiny bit stronger because of it.
Yeah.
Whereas, you know, if I had never had that experience, don't know what it's like to not be comfortable, not have a bed, not have this and that. Now I do. So
That was kind of like that Bibbleman track.
Oh.
You guys didn't have, you had summer sleeping bags in the winter, sleeping on a wooden plank. But then 2 days later, you're like, you get used to life again. Like you probably thought the same thing. Like life is changing from here on. You know, I'm going to be spiritually just like,
Oh, yeah.
so I'm going to be just loving awareness, full consciousness because I've been through this. But then you're just like,
come back, you're like, let's go sit, get
eating-
my Uber Eats
just
again.
eating pizza.
That's exactly what I did.
I know. Because everyone was talking about, as soon as we get back, we're going to eat pizza.
Yeah.
I had like Netflix on my bed to my left
Yeah.
and a pizza box open on my stomach, and I was just stuff my
Done that
face.
so many times.
I actually just meditated for 5 hours when we got back.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so I don't know what I did. Probably just jerked off. What?
Yeah.
I
But
meditated.
now you have
but
that. Now you've been through that. You kind of, at least you have that reference point.
Yeah.
yeah.
You know,
And it's a pretty
it's
cool
a real
story.
reference point. It's not like, oh, imagine if I starved on an island for you've gone through that stuff. So it's like, okay,
Yeah.
cool.
Man, Survivor, that's a crazy... Who was the like host or... That would run
Jonathan
the-
Natalia. He, I don't know how to describe. Kind of looks like the American host, Jeff Probst.
Okay.
His brother's Anthony LaPaglia, who's an actor as well, and probably done more things. So that might be the brother, who you might recognize more.
Oh, the pilot. Oh,
Yeah.
that's a familiar name.
Yeah, it's... And so what was the like most enjoyable like trial, or what do they call them? Like activity...
Challenge. Most enjoyable. I don't know. They're all pretty fun.
Yeah.
Where it's funny. You're totally starving and you have no energy.
Yeah.
Like sometimes we just didn't eat for days, like nothing, literally nothing. And so you're like, oh my God, how am I going to do this massive obstacle course? But you just find this adrenaline and you just smash it and then you just die afterwards.
Yeah.
So they were all pretty fun. I love kind of competing and I'm pretty, agile and you wouldn't think much of me. I think like if you just saw me like lining up for the challenge, you're like, oh, I can take this guy pretty easily. But I like kind of surprising people, so that was kind of fun for me to do that stuff. There was one, I don't know, it was like, it's definitely the most memorable. I don't know about favorite, but it was this duel challenge where you had to fight like one-on-one on this platform and like smash each other with these cushion pad things until someone fell off into the mud. And for that challenge, so part of this was because I didn't want to embarrass, like I'm trying to avoid the public humiliation thing I was talking about.
Yeah.
Part of it was strategy for the game. So it's one-on-one. I look over at all the, I have to fight a guy from the other team and they're all pretty big. Like, and I think to myself, there's no way I'm beating any of them. And so I'm like, okay, what's best for this challenge and what's best for me? Luckily lined up. It's like, okay, so the best way to avoid me being embarrassed is to put myself at the worst odds ever, and I'll just take on the biggest guy. Yeah. Because then there's no chance I'm going to win. And so, I can't really be embarrassed. Everyone's going to expect you to lose, then I'll lose. It's fine. Yeah. And I was like, actually, that's also a really good strategy as well to win the challenge. You might as well waste me on the sure loss, so no one else has to verse this big guy as well. Yeah. It's like, cool. All right, let's do it. Great strategy, everyone. Put me up against the biggest guy. He's huge, 110 kilo, super ripped dude. And he didn't really tell anyone his real job and history. He said he was a business graduate, which is true, and he was a fashion designer, which is true. Both true things. And we were like, okay, he just must love going to the gym because he's so ripped. I fought him. Definitely lost. Yeah. Twice. But I put up a pretty good fight. And so, and I kept telling myself every second I don't lose, every second I stay on this thing is like a super win for me because the odds of me winning are nearly zero. So just put up a fight. Then I look like I'm good. I'm like David versus Goliath. Yeah. I'm hanging in there, cool. So that was really quite memorable and fun. And then we got home and started watching the ads for Survivor. And then, so I still didn't know. Then his face pops up on one of the ads. It's like Mark. And then his job title underneath is former special ops commander.
Oh, shit.
And I was like, holy shit. Like, dude, what the hell?
He could have killed you.
He actually could have easily killed me if he wanted to. Like, not even exaggerating. Yeah. He's trained to do that kind of stuff. And against me, like, he could have snapped me if he wanted. He's been to Afghanistan many times and led troops around and like, wow. So that actually made me feel a bit cooler. I was like, yeah, I took on this. Yeah. So yeah, that was probably a really kind of funny and memorable one. Definitely one that most people would probably remember if you were watching the show. Yeah. Just because it was just such a funny thing.
I did see some footage of the show and you guys were like fighting over a rice bag that was hanging from a tree or something.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
It's like, oh, Jesus.
Oh, you saw me. I got the rice. Yeah. Man, the comments on Twitter. Oh. So many because I was really excited. I was watching Twitter real time while the show was playing. Yeah. I was like, I kind of knew what was going to happen. It was like, and it was like, comments start scrolling. It's like, trust the Asian to get the rice. Like, nothing gets between the Asian guy and his rice. And I didn't know Steve Aoki was a Survivor. Oh, no. It's kind of funny. Like, I don't mind it. It was like predictable joke, but funny to see it roll in. Yeah. That was a good one actually. That was the first challenge, and that was super tough. You had to swim swim this rafting for so long to get to the shore, and it was the worst. I was like, I'm in trouble. This is what it's like every day. Yeah. I'm definitely in trouble.
Out of curiosity, how did you feel after, say, 2 days of not eating? Did you break through? Because a lot of people feel really hungry for the first day or so, and then they break through and start metabolizing differently.
I don't know. I think you got used to it eventually. I mean, the start was actually all right because we had other things like fruit and stuff. Oh, okay. So kind of eased into it. And at the worst point, we just had nothing for 3 days because we lost our fire, so we couldn't cook the rice. So we just had nothing but water for 3 days. And that was the worst part.
So it was bad all the way through.
It was pretty much bad all the way through, but
damn.
it wasn't the worst thing out there. The worst thing out there was trying to sleep in the rain. That was by far the worst thing.
Yeah.
Trying to sleep when it's freezing and rain's dripping on you. You just can't do it, really. And it's a mental thing as well. You just close your eyes and you're like, please, can I just fall asleep? And please, when I open my eyes next, hopefully it's daytime when I open my eyes.
Yeah.
And it's not. You're like, it's probably been like 1 minute. That was definitely the hardest. Hunger, it was sucked, and you'd always dream and fantasize about food.
Yeah.
But it was never like, shit, I'm going to quit because I'm so hungry. It's like, I'm going to quit because it's so cold.
Yeah. The crazy thing about that is some people voluntarily just within normal society do a 5-day fast.
Yeah.
For health, and they feel great.
Yeah.
But I imagine that they're probably not like under a super stressful situation on a deserted beach.
Yeah.
So
I get it. It's kind of it'd be an interesting thing to do.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have the willpower for that, I think, like to do it voluntarily.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I'd be like, why?
Yeah.
I don't imagine the high I get from it is worth it. I'll just
Apparently there's like a you break through and you get to some sort of
like Nirvana
clarity sort of
maybe.
Yeah.
I'm not. Yeah. I don't think I'd be good at that.
Yeah. Yeah. You don't want to sort of become nothing.
Yeah. Yeah. I would
sort of
waste away to
disintegrate.
nothing for sure. I lost 4 kilos from the 37 days. Doesn't sound like a lot, but on me, that's pretty much everything. Every bit of fat. So you do gradually feel yourself just like, really, I'm just like nothing right at the moment.
Yeah. No mirrors
just
or anything,
existing. No mirrors. But
so.
there are times where you have to get in a car to get to somewhere like far away challenge.
Oh, right.
And it's not a nice car. It's like off road and everything. But you do kind of like sneak in and look in like the mirror,
Wow.
or like and then you get blindfolded. But in that little few seconds, you like take a quick peek.
Oh, that's interesting. Like, what's that like? Not seeing your reflection for like unusually long periods of time. Just like psychologically, you're just like, who am I?
Never really. That never really wasn't really a thing.
Yeah.
I think might be different for girls maybe, but I think for in general, the guys I think
They're not too
care
concerned.
too much. Especially the kind of people that were out there. They were all, half of them were like full rugged. Let's adventure. So like they love that.
Like, I shave with a knife.
They love it. They love all that
Just a
stuff.
blade.
Nah.
Yeah.
Nah, that wasn't a thing. Definitely felt gross though, especially my hair. There was so many mud things we had to do and be completely submerged in mud.
Oh.
And you can't wash it afterwards. Like you have the ocean, but it's not great.
Yeah.
And so like that was uncomfortable.
Yeah. You just replace the mud with sand.
Yeah, pretty
Yeah.
much, and salt. And you just have this sticky lump like living on my head for that long.
Yeah.
No shampoo.
I've got like newfound, I mean, I don't really need any motivation to do this, but like seeing your hair, I've got like newfound motivation to get the long hair back, which I have
How long
grown
was it
out.
for?
The longest I ever got was like just off the shoulders, like just below the shoulders, and I was stoked with that. And then I cut it off, and then I grew it out again, and then I cut it off, and now I'm like, I've been through like the grief of like mourning my lost hair twice now, and so this time I'm going to grow it out.
I haven't been through it at all.
Yeah,
Never will.
yeah, that's. I'm not
Who
doing
knows?
it again.
I definitely look better, longer hair. But you have to go. I wouldn't mind if I could just snap my fingers and have short hair and then long hair again. I'd do that. But to get from short, because I'm interested in having short hair. I'm like, imagine what it's like now. But that phase from that from here to here,
yeah,
that's where it looks so shit.
The
I don't want to go
middle
through
phase.
that again.
Yeah.
So I'll just keep it long forever rather than have to, because I know if I cut it short, I'll want to get it long again.
yeah.
There's already been so much work you put in.
Yeah.
Oh, dude, yeah. No, I'm not going to cut it. I think I'll just keep growing it now.
Yeah.
Because
You said this on
But
camera now, so you have
Yeah.
to do
Yeah.
it.
Well, what do you do when he gets to bob length? I have to wear I just wear a hat
yeah, like
non-stop because it looks so. I definitely look like a girl, like a girl with short hair from behind, which I still do now, look like a girl from behind. But it was just, it wasn't cool. It's, I couldn't tie it up, so it wasn't like a cool long hair thing. It just looked weird.
Until I can tie it up, I'll do like headbands, which is like not, it's whatever. And then, once I can tie it up, I'll usually tie up like most of it into the back and then just have like a bit of a mullet kind of thing, but it kind of looked all right. So
I think you should have bangs. Just straight bangs. The indie bangs.
Oh, that'd be hardcore.
No, it wouldn't.
Yeah. No, yeah. Yeah.
I still remember having long hair. Feels a very long time ago. It was probably also like down to here. Like surfer hair, but I didn't surf.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like curly and blonde, but I didn't do any of that shit. I just played fucking video games.
Yeah, sounds like the life.
Yeah, pretty much.
Hell yeah.
I'm just going to shave my head from now on, though. Fuck it. Because I don't want to wake up and do anything. I just want to walk out the door.
Yeah.
And if you don't have any hair...
That's what I do. I don't do anything.
Yeah, because when it's... Oh, that's right. Because like when it's like completely shaved, you don't have to do anything. But if it's completely long, you don't really have to do anything either because it's just down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nothing's going to change.
Yeah, you can't really style it up. Well, you could. A shitload of spray and just get it. Like, I don't know, like a fucking massive mohawk or something. You know what I mean? You feel me?
That'd be, I'm feeling that.
Okay.
That'd be something.
I got to sort back. Been sitting down for too long.
Yeah, man. So what's your podcast sort of focused on? Like you were saying before, you're speaking to a couple of people, like mostly musicians at the moment, creative, traveling types.
Musicians, photographers.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, broadly, it's about travel and creativity. That's kind of like the scope.
Yeah.
That's how I'll decide whether I want to record someone or not, But really, I mean, I guess it's just kind of digging into things like, the hurdles that they've had to go through to get to where they are and just thoughts on creativity and process. And it's always just interesting hearing the backstory.
Yeah.
And hearing what struggles people are going through, because like we were talking about before, you don't really hear about that stuff on Instagram.
Yeah.
And sometimes you do now. Like it's becoming cool now to share like your down day, but it's also weird because you're doing that because that will get likes as well.
Yeah.
I was saying
like it would be interesting if nobody cared at all. If you got no comments, no likes from sharing, oh, today I'm not feeling so good, and everyone always shares the highlights, but this is reality. And if no one responded to that, people wouldn't do it. Like you're still doing it because you'll get some interest. But anyway, back to I like hearing that stuff, especially from successful people. And what I've found out and what you hear from the conversations I've recorded is everybody has the exact same anxiety and fear, and people that you think are totally killing it actually just have the same problems as you. And I think that's quite good for young people or anyone to hear.
Yeah.
100%.
Because you start realizing, oh, okay, because you go look on Instagram, and this person has a perfect life. What do I have to do to get there? And you realize, they pretty much have the same life as me. They're just doing slightly better or slightly more bigger things.
Yeah.
But really, same struggles with anxiety, same struggles with having a financially stable career, same struggles of like commercial versus creative. Like it's all the same. Just like the scale might change a bit, but the running theme is pretty similar for any creative across any medium. Could be photographer, could be musician, and I'm sure you could apply it to any one in any industry. It's the same kind of thing. But my podcast will, when I eventually put it out, which could be never, it will focus on the creative side of it, because I think that's an interesting thing, is because and balancing creative with commercial, that's an interesting parameter to set, because that's quite unique to artists or people doing creative work, where it's up to you to kind of decide where that line is. It's not as clear cut as, I'll just do my office job 9 to 5, and then outside of that is my personal life.
Yeah.
With freelancers and creative people, it's a big blurry line of, it's not 9 to 5. It's whatever you want. So, you know, if no one's telling you what to do, you have to decide everything yourself, and that's where all the confusion and stress and anxiety comes from, because you have to do it yourself. And you can go as big as you want with it, but you have to have so much discipline. And if you don't have that discipline, you'll just collapse.
That would be an immense like weight to carry. Like how do you personally manage that and sort of try not to like freak yourself out? Have you ever experienced periods where you? I mean, I suspect not, but have you experienced periods where you haven't felt like you've got any creative urges or anything coming to mind, or anything that you want to, like in almost like a writer's block sort of thing?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, definitely. I think everyone does. Like, I don't think, you know, it's all a big blur the past 10 years of my life.
Yeah.
But, you know, often I get that feeling. I can't, you know, pinpoint if there's been a particular period, or there's definitely been periods where it's been tougher, where it's been like, you know, where you lose the love of it a bit. Like, look at all this stuff I'm doing and not even really enjoying it. But, you know, I used to convince myself that, at least I'm clicking a button on a camera. So even if I'm not enjoying it, anything else I'd be doing, I also probably wouldn't enjoy it either. But this is, at least I'm holding a camera and not enjoying it.
Yeah.
That's kind of how I used to justify it to myself, like get through everything. Yeah, it kind of just goes in phases, you know, and the struggle changes. You know, early on it might be like, how am I going to make a living from this? And, you know, should I just do all these boring nightclubbing random things, you know, just to keep saying I'm a photographer, or should I just drop it and just do something else? There's always some sort of like struggle, and, you know, and even as you get more successful, I think the struggle's still there, it just might be framed slightly differently.
Yeah.
And now these days it might be, you know, where do I draw the line between making money? It's funny because like back like when I first started, when I made the decision to just drop everything else and just work on photography full time, I had to accept, and part of that process of making that decision was accepting that, okay, what I'm doing right now is willingly deciding to make a lot less money than I could if I was doing something else or kept going in the law school. And I had to come to terms with that, okay, just so I know to myself, all right, this is what you're deciding. Less money, but more fun and more creative things, which I like. And I came to terms, I was like, cool. And that really helped, because then, you know, I wasn't making much money in the beginning. And so I was like, well, you know, I decided this and it's cool. You know,
Yeah.
I deliberately made the choice to have more fun than make more money. But then it gets complicated, because as you get more successful, it's like, well, actually I can make a lot of money now if I want to, doing photography. And now the question kind of changes a bit. And it's like, well, how much money do you want to make? And how much fun do you want to have? And that could be anything. If I just wanted to make a ton of money, I really could. Like, it would be fairly easy to just do commercial projects, just work for big corporations, just shoot weddings or whatever, just hit all the money makers. As a photographer, I could make so much. But and this comes back to like the whole thing about deciding, you know, how much and how, you know, where the line is for so many things. And it's like, okay, well, yeah, how much money should I make, and how much should I keep to myself and make nothing and just do something and lose money or something?
Yeah.
And only I can decide that. No one else is deciding that for me. And that's a struggle. And it sounds like a really privileged problem to have, which it is. But they're the kind of creative struggles I have now. Is, you know, what is, you know, why am I doing photography and what's the purpose of it?
It makes sense, because earning money and creativity, you can see it as like sometimes they're kind of polar opposites. Yeah. So I can see where that would be hard.
Yeah. And you just have to decide a job
them.
by, you know, on a broader level, you can kind of make a decision. All right, well, as long as I do this many things. Or it could be like a per job thing. Someone might offer me something and I'm like, do I really want to do it? And I'll be like, I don't really, but it's not that bad.
Yeah.
But should I, like right now, I've made a decision to stay at home this whole month. So I've been in Perth this whole month of November, and that hasn't happened for a really long time. I'm usually on the road, and things have been offered to me that are good travel gigs, but I've forced myself to say, no, November is, I can still work, but only at home, only in Perth.
Yeah.
And that's been quite a good decision, actually.
Strong decision.
Much better. Yeah. It's tough. It's tough to make those kind of calls because it also in the back of my mind is, how long is it going to last as well? At the moment, it's, top of mind for a lot of people. So I get the call up very often, but that's not going to last forever, maybe.
Yeah.
And, it'll be cool to get someone else next time. So should I make the most of it? Should I just do everything? Or should I start chilling it? And what happens if no one wants me to do cool stuff anymore and it's all just random shitty things? And then if I stop loving photography and quit, then what do I do then? And, there's no real backup plan. I'm sure there's stuff I can do, but not to the heights that I've reached with photography. So it's just, I don't know, it's just a big balancing act.
Yeah.
You'll probably be right.
Yeah.
I'll
probably be right. That's the thing.
Right.
Yeah. And I've always thought that from the beginning, which I think is very healthy.
Yeah.
So I would probably be right. Even at the start when I was very shit at everything, I was like, it'll still be fine if this doesn't work out. Like, there's stuff I could, it'll be fine.
Do you think that having taken photography to the heights that you have and been through that process, if you moved into another area or started something new, with that knowledge of what the process is like in its entirety, it would be a lot more helpful for you to undertake something else where you're a bit uncertain, but you know where it could lead?
Yeah, I guess it'd be helpful, because there's been a lot of things I've learned through the photography process that apply to anything.
Yeah.
So I definitely have, I'd have a better mindset and strategy and contacts to make a lot of other things succeed.
Yeah.
But, I think I did find my calling in photography. Like, that's the thing that I can both have fun and be good at and make a career out of. I don't think I'm finding those three things in any other profession. I don't think. Music, I really love. And I if I could, that would be my number one chosen career pathway, but I'm just not good enough at it,
Yeah.
But photography has worked out to be the thing that ticks everything. I don't think there's anything else really.
Yeah.
There'd be stuff I can
never know.
there's stuff I definitely could be good at, journalism, design. I'm sure if I applied myself, I'd be pretty good at that stuff, but I don't have the passion for it.
Yeah.
So I think I've found the thing. I'll try and hold on to it.
Yeah.
Thought about quantum physics?
Thought about the word. I've seen the word before. Thought
Not
it
a
sounded
career
pretty
path,
cool.
isn't it?
And
Okay.
no, I dropped all science year 9, I think.
Yeah. I did that
Your
too,
turn?
but now I'm doing it again. So
Yeah, man.
science is always there. I wish it wasn't.
We sometimes get like the occasional scientist in here and it's just
You sound like they're all stragglers, like sort of breezing in. Sometimes we get them in here.
Yeah, it's just and he was there.
It's Dr. Josh Morning.
Fine, let's hit record, I guess.
yeah. It's fun though. Like we're just kind of like scurrying around trying to talk science to them, sound intelligent. Actually doesn't work out too badly though. They're usually pretty happy with the level of research we did or whatever.
Oh, scientists are so happy when you engage with them.
Yeah, I imagine it'd be. I mean, that's is a big part of what scientists do. They need to. They're in that role because they're freaks and like can understand that stuff. But so their job is to communicate it to the everyday person.
Oh,
Yeah.
That's like the real skill is like taking all this crazy knowledge and
And that's
actually
hard.
make people understand it. So
yeah.
I'm sure. And most people that you talk to would be other scientists. So I'm sure they love getting out of that and having a normal conversation.
Oh, that's very true. That's exactly, I think we found that. They love
absolutely.
to communicate what they do for once because it's so niche sometimes.
Yeah.
They're sick of talking to their students or like other professors or other researchers,
Yeah.
people in analytics and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, it's tough.
How long have we gone for?
Just over 2 hours.
Oh,
It's pretty decent.
that's pretty
Nice.
Yeah. Do you want to do some plugs or let anyone watching know what you're doing in the next?
Don't
Plug
really
segment.
Don't really have any plugs.
There was no rhythm in that at all.
There's no plug either.
Yeah.
I'll plug my yet to be released and possibly never to be released podcast. It's called Life in Transit, but you might never hear it.
Ooh.
Like the first conversation I recorded was 2 years ago.
Okay. How many do you
with
have?
Passenger. I have 9.
Okay.
So I've kind of like I haven't recorded anything for ages, but I did go through a phase where I just would take a Zoom and a couple mics just in my travel bag
Yeah.
and just wherever I was. Because I know quite a few creative people all around the world. So wherever we were, Canada, I'd be like, oh, you don't know in Canada. And there'd be like a really awesome photographer. I'm like, hey, come down, let's have a chat on this thing. So we just record it. And then it's just a file on my computer now. But there've been some really good ones. There's some that I just, always have to let go because then they're too old and not interesting. But I mean, the first one ever was with a guy called Stu Larson, a musician. And it was around that time as well I recorded Passenger. And I love that conversation. It's super old now.
Yeah.
It's like before, this album, like so much has happened since then. But it's still cool.
Yeah.
So I think I will get these out at some point.
Yeah, I do that.
With that context, what a strange file to have on your computer.
Yeah.
Just like an hour of you and someone else talking.
Yeah. Just if I died and someone just like clicked on this folder and just like, why is this hour-long conversations
Did
with
that
random
person
people?
know he was recording?
What is this? Did he put? Let's Google it. Did he put this anywhere? No, it's just on his computer. Just listen to everyone.
And there's 9 of them. Very strange.
What do you have a structure to it? Like, how long are these podcasts? And
They're probably around an hour each.
Yeah. That's awesome, man.
But they're all different. One's a Passenger, Angus and Julia Stone, musician. Some photographers in there, and they're all really good at what they do. I interviewed the SAS guy that I talked to you about. He's really interesting, and and it was an interesting line to take because I was trying to tie in creativity, which exists in his life because he designs leather jackets.
Yeah,
and it's super cool.
What an interesting man.
Yeah, and so there's that part of it, but he also has his history in the military and business. And we were just talking a lot about the connections between everything and, creativity in the military and, having to improvise and having to problem solve. And and just really interesting to talk to someone like that. I know nothing about the SAS. I have no idea. Some stuff he was saying, I was like, oh my God, okay. All right. I don't know what the world is.
Yeah.
I live in a pretty little safe little bubble, don't I? There's actually just some real stuff going on in the world.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, I mean,
Just Google your name, really.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty much just how you do it now, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, this is what I did the other day by accident. I Googled my name in Google Maps by accident. I was just zoned out and I was like I pulled open Maps to figure out where I was going, and I wasn't thinking. I just typed in my name, clicked enter, and it came up with my old workplace.
Whoa.
I thought
you were going to see a house.
Whoa.
Damn.
Yeah, if that would be real bad. Well, who cares? But it was weird that it came up with my work.
Yeah.
Well,
was it known that you worked there, or is it like
it would have been? I would have been under their
contacts or something.
Like about us, staff profile or whatever.
That's
interesting.
Weird,
yeah.
But ages ago, 5 or 6 years ago. I think you guys should do it later. Just Google your name.
Yeah.
See what pops up in Google Maps. It might come up like with something that is
probably just some Scottish lake. or just
Could
some
come
sort
up with
of
right here.
backcountry.
Maybe revealing location.
Oh my god, what if it was my house?
Have you? This is a bit sort of a comment from before, but talking about Julia Stone, have you heard Angus Stone do his like Dope Lemon stuff?
Yeah.
That's
So good.
Yeah, it's good. They play
super
some
into it.
Dope Lemon songs in their set.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Oh,
they go
man.
down pretty well.
so good.
They're both super cool and creative, and
Yeah,
yeah, it's been really fun traveling because I've worked with them a lot the last 2 years. And I still work with Passenger, but I've worked with him for so long, and then Angus and Julia, and it's really interesting to kind of compare and see the differences, and
yeah.
it's
man.
it's fun.
Dope Lemon is almost kind of psychedelic. And I feel like no
Yeah.
matter what sort of kick I'm in, no matter what genre, it's usually just trap music though. Like even whatever hip hop I'm listening to, I'm still just always listening to that album as well.
Yeah,
It just like transcends like any sort of,
nice.
because it just fits perfectly like most feelings,
Yeah.
most moods you're in. You know what I mean?
That's a good compliment. For
I cook.
Yeah.
I cook meat while I'm listening to Dope Lemon. It's like a habituated thing. As soon as I start cooking meat, I put it on. I put on like Coyote or
There's
Honey
some weird,
Bones.
like, conditioning going on there.
Yeah,
We should just play
Whoa.
the song later and just see that.
Yeah,
Stand
I'll-
up and go to the freezer.
coming back with a steak in my mouth, just rabid, wide-eyed.
Wow. I didn't know that about you.
Very weird.
Yeah.
Very weird.
Yeah.
Marinade is 100%
That's probably.
the greatest song.
Well, I'm seeing like the meat connection now. Is this
Yeah, that's probably what it is.
psychologically? He's just like
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's true.
got it.
cues.
Like marinade and then
Marinade?
honey bones.
Okay.
Honey soy chicken.
Yeah, seasoning the meat. He's telling me what to do. Subconsciously, I'm just listening to this dreamy voice. Just as I'm
Angus
cracking
beef.
pepper.
Hey,
It's all right.
damn, we're
Man.
unraveling this.
It's not an album; it's a cookbook.
He secretly got his like food line that he's selling.
Yeah. So life in transit, that
Yeah.
would be really good. I think you'd absolutely. It's got to come into
Hopefully.
the reality and
It's been my side project, but like a lot of stuff has revolved around it because I want to also. It was the name of my blog when I had one. Don't anymore. Now it's going to be the name of the podcast. And now I'm having this new idea about making a magazine.
okay.
And I was like,
Yeah.
I can be the name of the magazine as well. So it's whatever form it ends up coming out in.
Yeah.
It's just this side thing that I want to do and create something that's more about conversation and stories that's separate to my name. So I guess I'm just still figuring out what form that takes.
Yeah.
But it's like a bit of a move away from photography and having something else. Because photography gets pretty boring
Yeah.
after a while. It's good to have something else going on.
Do you have any upcoming anything else that you've sort of got coming up over Christmas next year?
Not really. Touring with Angus and Julia again. They're supporting Paul Kelly for some shows
Oh,
through December.
okay.
So I'll be with them. That's pretty much up until Christmas. And then, yeah, some cool stuff.
Very
International
exciting.
tours next year. And yeah, nothing too crazy. Just kind of same kind of thing.
Yeah. Keeping that balance between fun and
Yeah.
making it.
I got some plugs.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Go for it.
I'll be down at Area 5 football in East Vic Park every Thursday night. Come down, watch me play.
Cool.
Yeah.
He's a
All right.
superstar. He's free entry.
I'm mediocre.
Yeah.
So,
Great. I'll
yeah.
come down. You got any plugs?
Yeah, I've got an exam on Friday
Sick.
at 1 p.m. So
Nice.
Come watch that.
it's a lab
Can
exam.
I watch it?
Yeah, people can come down and
Really?
watch me stare at a screen for like 2.5 hours.
Can
and
we actually though, or is it? I'm sure we can't.
there's a window in the
Okay,
door. You
all
could
right.
look through
Okay.
the door and just watch me scratching my head for like 2.5 hours.
All right, cool. All right, I'll put another plug in. I'm probably going to get Uber Eats when I get home.
Oh, there we go.
And the guy, so it's 11:10. Time I get home, 11:25. By the time the guy, so 11:35. The Uber guy will probably get to my front door.
Yes.
Shouts out to him.
So if you want to check that out,
Yeah.
Check
probably
it out,
too
guys.
late.
If you want to know what the address is, just Google Maps.
if you want
Jarrad
to,
Seng.
All right.
Yeah, sounds good. Yeah.
Thank
Plug
you so
some.
much for coming in.
No worries, man. It's fun.
It's been great.
Oh, it's a long one.
Yeah.
Shout out to anyone who listens to the end and gets those
Oh.
the reward of those plugs.
We have some
Guys, something
dedicated.
really cool happens at the end.
We have some dedicated.